All right, let's get this done. Take this guy here, that guy there, fill in a couple positions, and wait a minute. I take him, but he goes. What happens then? No. Take that guy, take him. Ah, there's so many choices. Who do I take? What's up, Giants fans, Hub and Rumble watchers, Twitter, Hub watchers, YouTube and Rumble followers, Twitter and Instagram followers. I am tired. I'm messing up the intro. Well, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? My bad for the wait. If any of you guys were ever at the NYC area before, you know that public transportation is not something you should rely on. But welcome, anybody. How you doing? How is everybody here? I see a couple people in the chat. Super Taj World, what's up, man? Namar, AB, Cletus, Sober Party, Giants Being Sports, Jaden, the champ was in here early as well. Thank you all for tuning in as you are entering. Classified with Joel is in here as well. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the share button. If you haven't already, you're new to the channel, subscribe. Get all of those nice things done. Edward, what's up, man? Got a couple topics to talk about today. Draft and cap talk, as the title says. What up, Leo? And you guys know how we do it. Usually I have a co-host kind of going in me with this thing. Sometimes they're there for the entirety of it. Sometimes they're there with me for a segment. I got one very familiar co-host on here tonight that's going to be on with me for basically a segment or two, 20 to 30 minutes. It is Ash from the Get Back with Ashton Griffith. And then, of course, we get the members on. And then after we get the members on, we open the floor for anybody to call in if they want to. And I don't really have much else to say other than, I did have that vid out today about one of many ways that the Giants could try and get to that $40 million cleared up in cap space. I also included a way that Patricia Traina did, which to this point is still the best way that I read. She had a lot of things going on, from cuts to restructures and things like that got us to $46 million cleared up, and we still managed to keep Blake Martinez. So that was pretty nice to see. In mine, I just kind of took a stab at it. I'm not really that good with cap space things. It always confuses me, but I did want to take a stab at it. I only did pure cuts. I got us to around $42 million, but we did lose two big guys on the defense in Martinez and Bradbury. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely go over there and check it out. And also, like you saw, I played at the beginning, tomorrow night at 8 p.m., my mock draft 1.0 will come out. It is already out. If you remember, you could already watch it. Or if you remember, you want to wait to watch it with everybody else, because it will be a premiere at 8 p.m. We're going to watch that. It's around 35 minutes long. And then when that finishes, Young Guns is at 9:30. So, you got an hour for it to marinate, and then we'll talk about it on Young Guns and whatnot. Toast, what's up, man? CJ is in here as well. Alan Boyd, the heavyweight champion of the world. Sure thing, CJ. Why not? You've been here for a minute. There is your mod. And like I said, that's kind of it for the introductions. Let me get my co-host Ash in here. Ash, are you available to talk? I know you were heading home from work, so what's the situation?
Yes. Is everything sounding clear? I'm in my in my car and stuff, so
it's all right.
Make sure everything's sounding clear, as always.
How you doing, man?
How you doing? Thank you for the the invite. I appreciate it. Doing good. Yeah, I'm just coming back from work, and I was like, you know what? Let me hop on with my guy, Kush. But yeah.
Oh, we also got the Super Bowl, of course, to talk about. I forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is there a little bit of a lag or delay I'm kind of noticing?
I don't know. Like, you cut out for a second, but maybe it's my AirPods. I don't know.
I think there is indeed a little bit of a lag. But Ash, what's the ETA until you get home, and then when you get on your setup?
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah.
But so when you do that, just pop right back in, because I think there definitely is a lag. With that being said, I guess we'll get the first member on. My quick thoughts on the Super Bowl. I'll say this. It was probably the best Super Bowl I've seen in 3 years. Because if we go back from 55, 54, and 53, obviously 53 was a snooze fest. Listen, yeah, it was a great defensive battle, but you can't tell me that you were entertained by Super Bowl 53. I'm sorry. 54 was better, but the 49ers were kind of, they were kind of dominating that game for like the better part of 2 or 3 quarters before Kansas City made a comeback. Now, the comeback itself was a bit exciting, of course, but not overall an exciting game. And then last year with 55, man, that was just another defensive beatdown, just a one-sided beatdown. An impressive display by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This time we kind of had a really competitive game, went all the way down the wire. It literally ended up to the last play, ended on a sack. Very, very nice to see, man. So, and then I see people, I see you guys have a couple draft questions. I'll definitely get to those. I see Toast saying Linderbaum's my favorite player coming out this draft. What are my thoughts on him? I do got some thoughts on him, and I will get to them. But first, let me pop Mike Nixon on. And Mike is the only member in here, so you guys know what that means. I'm going to drop this invite link a little bit early, and I'm going to pin it. But Mike, what's up, man? How you doing? And what topic you tackling first?
Man. We can stick on the topic of the Super Bowl.
For sure. Let me hear it. Me and Mike actually watched basically most of the Super Bowl together in the Discord. We had a watch party, and anytime there's a big game, I usually put it in the Discord. Like I'm always got a watch party on, and like I share my stream so we could be on the same level and whatnot. It's a pretty nice time.
But yeah, it was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, my boy Odell tore his ACL again on the same knee.
Hey, at least this time he has a ring with it. You know what I mean? He's very accomplished now.
Yeah. Man, I don't know if he'll be able to come back to be the same player he once was.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed something about Odell, and I think we brought it up in the Discord.
Yeah.
He is very much matured since the New York Giant days.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes to show that Baker Mayfield isn't that guy, because he kind of succeeded with Eli.
Kind of.
Eli, he was great with Eli.
I was about to say, Eli had that man on the path to Jerry Rice.
He was great with Eli. Absolutely sucked with Baker. And then goes to Detroit and was
LA,
playing. LA. Hold up. My mic's kind of acting up.
Yeah, no, you said Detroit. I was just like, you mean LA. Wow. There's kind of technical difficulties all around tonight. Whenever Mike pops back in, I'll pop him back in, I guess. I mean, I see CJ is back here, and I'll pop you in a second, CJ. Oh, there's Mike. Well, everybody, from me being late to, like, Ash, now Mike, what's going on tonight?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
My mic acts up on occasions, but it's probably because I'm on my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why.
It's fine, but continue your point.
As I was saying, he absolutely sucked with Baker, and he goes to the Rams and probably has another great second half to the year with the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes to show that Baker Mayfield isn't that guy.
And I gotta say, it's kind of crazy to me. I don't think the Browns should necessarily replace Baker yet, and of course, I don't want to spend too much time on the Browns and Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Because, like, at the end of the day, right, the dude got there, and as soon as he got there, they were no longer a losing franchise. That has to count for something, right? But at
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
time, there is that genuine question of, can he take them all the way? Or maybe it's something
Mhm.
with the coach, maybe not. Can he take them all the way? Is it something with him? There's definitely that question because they've certainly underperformed in his time there. And especially this year, he's been really, really bad this year.
Mhm.
So, like Edward, I see Edward saying they need to cut him immediately or get rid of him immediately. I'm just like, maybe they do, or maybe it's one bad year, but it's very torn. It's a very controversial subject
Yeah,
for Browns fans. They're kind of split down the middle with him.
but making an we'll kind of shift towards
Draft or Super
draft.
Bowl? Draft, okay, yeah,
Draft.
because that's what everybody's asking about in the chat right now.
All right, so I see the first round going one to two ways. Either we go with two linemen, which I'm not opposed of, or we go linemen. Either way, we take at least one lineman. But if Joe Schoen wants to clear up 40 million cap space, it's gonna be hard to do that without including Bradbury to be a cut casualty.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see us draft going O lineman and possibly corner.
Yeah, I've been seeing you comment in streams and on videos. Ahmad Sauce Gardner at 7. And tell him Alejandro says draft in the offseason. We already talked about that. So party. I'm definitely gonna get into that 40 million in a second. And then what up, Viz? And do you think we'll fire Chris Predit? Not at least this season. A quick note: I'd be actually surprised if we fire any of our scouting staff right now because they just did all the work for the current draft. Like, yes, Joe Schoen is coming in with the work he did over in Buffalo, but they're not gonna find a completely new scouting staff in basically a matter of a month or two. That's not happening. I'd be very surprised if it does.
That's not happening.
Yeah. So for better or worse, we're gonna be with them for this year. I do expect some changes to come after this offseason, though, for sure. Now, getting to the corner, Ahmad Sauce Gardner, I can definitely see that as a possibility. The only reason I wouldn't do it is because I think that I really do believe in the depth at our cornerback, and I think that we could sign a serviceable number 2 guy, because if we sign a serviceable number 2 guy, we'd essentially have a Dory Jackson that's like a high number 2, borderline number 1, playing the 1 spot. That, good number 2 guy playing the number 2 spot, and then like Aaron Robinson, Darnay, or somebody rotating that third cornerback spot. And yeah, it's not a great secondary. It's not certainly what we just had, but I think it will be good enough for carry us a year or two before we go and we take a cornerback when, we kind of have the opportunity to do so a bit more, like, efficiently isn't the word I'm looking for, but I'm just like, I want to use these top picks on both lines because both lines are our deficiencies. Even, and I've been saying this for a while now, even the interior to defensive line has really become a need that I don't really hear that much people talking about. Guys, when you think about it, we have Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams, and that's it at defensive tackle spot. Dave Gettleman, for all that I was a fan of a good amount of his moves, I'm quickly realizing that the state he left the team in was really bad because he built that defensive line up, and we had a really stacked D-line at one point, and just as quickly he tore it down. Because once again, we got Dexter Lawrence, we got Leonard Williams on a big contract, and there's like nobody behind him, bro. Austin Johnson, a free agent. There's no more BJ Hill. There's no more RJ McIntosh. There's no more Dalvin Thomason. These were all dudes we could rotate in and have good depth with. So, like, we need to just spend time on both of the D lines, is what I'll say. Yeah. And I see my boy in Craven in the back. I'm going to get you in right after, bro, because I have to ask you about our new defensive coordinator. And I know you guys are going to be excited to hear what Craven has to say, man.
Which also brings me to why I brought up Ahmad Sauce Gardner. He would fit Wink Martindale's defense to a key.
Yeah. I haven't studied Wink Martindale defense. You guys know me. I'm not much of somebody to go and study a scheme like that, which is exactly why when I pop Engrave it on here, I'm asking him all about it and who he thinks would be a good fit. But I will say this about Sauce Gardner. He low key might be the number one corner in this class. Derek Stingley is an amazing prospect, but like I don't think we should count out Ahmad that quickly.
Yeah. My only concern, two concerns with Derek Stingley. One being the injury history, and the second is coming out about his effort. So, I mean, maybe he was just not giving it his all, knowing that he would be a top prospect in the draft.
And that's where we get into speculation, right? And I'm just like, I don't know where to go with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, Derek Stingley is a great corner, but I feel that Ahmad Sauce Gardner is gonna be the number one corner.
And I will say this, I do think the injury definitely affects his overall just stock and whatnot. I will say that.
Yeah.
But Mike, I'm gonna pop you back in a second, bro. Because let me pop in Ingraven.
All right.
I've been waiting to have him on for a while now. Friend of the channel. You guys should know him. If you don't,
no problem.
Go over there
problem.
For sure, Mike. Sub up Ingraven Vids. He is a Ravens content creator, but also NFL content creator. You can find him talking about anything and everything regarding all of that. How you doing, man? I want to thank you for popping on. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that man cave wall in the background, bro. I need me one of those. How did you build that?
It ain't nothing special, man. But I appreciate you having me on again. It's been a little while, man.
It's been a minute, but it's all good. In the off season, all teams converge, man. How you doing? Where are you, like, with just, I guess, the off season? Are you looking at the draft right now? Are you focused on your Ravens, like, free agency? What are you doing?
Ravens, they always got something going on. I haven't got a chance to like look at any draft prospects yet. I haven't gotten a chance to look at anybody yet. Ravens got enough stuff going on pre-draft, but I'm gonna get to that a little later on. But we play the Giants this year.
Yeah, so, we do.
We'll be linking up next season for sure.
Definitely not. I can't remember if you're at home or we're at home, but I know we do play. I think the AFC North in general. But I guess the first thing I'll ask you, man, is how about that Super Bowl? What did you think about that Super Bowl, man?
I loved it.
I think it was the best one we saw in like 3 years.
Oh yeah, last year was that blowout from the Bucks, and then before that it was the Chiefs.
Which wasn't much better when you think about it, because 49ers had that game for a long time until Patrick Mahomes came back.
49ers.
Yeah.
And then what? Before that, was it the Eagles?
Before that was 53 with 13-3 being the final score. Well, and then it was the Eagles before that.
Yeah, it's been good, man. It was good, and I loved. I wanted the Rams to win, but I thought the Bengals were gonna win. So the way that it all happened, I loved it because it was one of those heartbreak games for the Bengals. One of those take the knife and then twist it and turn it a little bit, because they had a chance to the very end, and there was one point, of course, when Odell went out. And then Matt Stafford threw a couple of picks. One of them wasn't his fault. The receiver dropped it and sort of tipped it up in the air and made it easy for was it Von Bell or Mike Hilton, or was it somebody else?
And then the other one was like in the end zone.
Yeah, for Jesse Bates. But yeah, that it looked like the Bengals was gonna start taking over the game.
Because they came out the second half with that 75-yard touchdown too to T. Higgins.
Yeah,
on the face mask.
Yeah, and that's why I know a lot of Bengals fans like, oh man, the refs they start calling these bogus calls and whatnot, but Bengals had some stuff go their way, so the refs were going both ways. But
and for the most part,
loved it.
For the most part, like other than like 2 or 3 calls, the refs actually just let them play. I want to say for like 99% of the game, the refs just let them play.
It was crazy. Yeah. And I appreciated that. But yeah, toward the end, that's when the refs started like, oh, hold up now. We got to do a little something. We got to get our Super Bowl shine on too.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I
N-
loved it
It,
so
it
much.
literally
I'm happy
came.
for Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
This like cements him officially. Like he was already cemented as one of the best players in the league. I mean, he has been one of the best players in the league for a long time. But now he got a Super Bowl on top of that. Because with me, I feel like I know this may be not necessarily controversial for some, but I feel like if I was a player, I would rather have Super Bowl than Hall of Fame. And I know Hall of Fame, you're one of the greatest players that has ever done it. And you, for the Hall of Fame, it's supposed to be for players that were the best of their era.
Hmm.
But Super Bowl, like nobody can share that with you. With Hall of Fame, you got like what 5 people that go in every year, 5, 6 people that go in every year. But Super Bowl, it's just your team and your team only, and that's it. And with NFL careers being so short, the average NFL career is just 3.5 years. With them being so short, if you can get that Super Bowl, like that's the highest of the high. And again, the Hall of Fame, it is very high as
Yeah.
well, but Super Bowl is like that's it. Like your team, even if your team wasn't the best team in the league that year, your team won the ultimate goal and y'all got to the top that year. And nobody can ever take that away from you. Like even with a Hall of Fame, for a Hall of Fame, if you get nominated one year and you don't get in, you can get nominated the following year. You can get nominated the following year and then make it back. But the Super Bowl, I mean, you technically can't make it back over and over. Shout out to Tom Brady. But it's just different, man. The Super Bowl is the highest of the high, and I would rather that than a Hall of Fame.
No, I agree with you. I'm with that as well. Like, if I was an NFL player, I'd probably rather be a Super Bowl winner than go on and have that Hall of Fame career. Because, like, I think even Victor Cruz might have spoken on this before, or maybe I'm misremembering. Because it's a great comparison. Like, he has that Super Bowl and he had that one great season, and then injuries just derailed his career.
Oh yeah.
And you compare it to a guy, I guess, like Julio Jones, who's I think probably going to be a Hall of Famer. He was like one of the best receivers of his era, right? But Julio never
No Super
got
Bowl.
that Super Bowl. And you know that's going to eat away at, like, let's be real. That's going to eat away at him, especially with the way his Super Bowl appearance went down. He had that great game, and that's a whole lot of conversation. But in 2016, if the Falcons won, he's probably MVP in my opinion. But yeah, no, I agree with you there. And that game came down to the wire. You had, what's his name? Jamar Chase was open on that last play where Donald got the sack. And you talk about a storyboard ending for Aaron Donald to be the one to sack Joe Burrow and end the game. Like, he called game right there.
Yeah.
It was almost out of a movie script.
Yeah, it was, man, and it was cool that he was the one that applied that pressure to force that incompletion with the game on the line. And it was like with Aaron Donald early on in the game, he was like a little bit quiet, but then once they got into that little shoving match on the sideline, then Aaron Donald was like, all right, yeah, I done had enough.
A lot of people point that out. They were like, the Bengals offensive lineman, they poked the bear. What was that, like in the second half or second quarter or something? And then he came on, because they opened the second half after that 75-yard touchdown. I think it was 7 straight sacks, because I don't think Burrow was sacked in the first half. It was either 7 straight sacks in the second half or 6 straight sacks. Either way, both of them are crazy.
Mm-hmm. And that offensive line, it ended up being what killed the year or ended the Bengals season. Now I think because I know there was a lot of uproar about the whole Penei Sewell versus Jamar Chase, who the Bengals should pick. I don't think they made the wrong move. Jamar Chase.
Well, let me ask you this: Do they make the Super Bowl without Jamar Chase? Like, that's the way. Yeah, like Jamar Chase is 100% a pivotal reason they were even there in the first place.
And he made plays in the Super Bowl too. So yeah, they didn't make the wrong move. I know some of the offensive linemen got hurt, got banged up and whatnot, but I do not feel like Bengals fans or Bengals should regret, like, oh, looking back, oh man, we should have took the offensive lineman over the wide receiver. No, you made a good move, and that move definitely paid off. If a few things change here and there, then that nobody's talking about that whole Penei Sewell thing, and they like, oh yeah, Bengals did it. But in my opinion, they still made the right move. It just the game ain't go their way.
It's just that they got to fix it, because you can't have that man be sacked. I think you add up regular season and postseason 70 times. That's, I think, 70. Definitely a record. 70 times in one thing. Shout out to Bobby Woodruff for becoming a member again. And out of that 70, 19 were in the 4 playoff games alone. If you put that over a 17-game season, he's getting sacked like 85 times. That man's gonna
Woo!
die.
That's
He's gonna
crazy,
die
man.
if that happens.
And then he got hurt. He
Yeah,
got
the
hurt
knee,
again.
right?
Yeah. So,
Do we have an update on what that was? Unfortunately, OBJ, he went down with the Achilles, but
yeah.
happy for
That's
him that
bad.
he got that Super Bowl. It looked like a scary thing when Burrow went down, but I don't
Mhm.
think that it was an ACL. I think it was
No, they
probably
said it's
something
not.
minor. Yeah.
They said he'll be fine. They said he doesn't need surgery. He'll just have to rehab it, and he'll be straight.
Yeah. So let me ask you about Wink Martindale, man. Why
Wink.
was Wink? Because the first question I gotta ask, and I know the first question the Giants fans in the chat are thinking is,
Mhm.
if he was such a good defensive coordinator for you guys, what happened? What caused him and the Ravens to part ways, or him and Harbaugh to part ways?
Well, Wink, yeah, he had been a pretty good defensive coordinator, but he did have his issues as well. A lot of those issues were covered up a lot of times by the players that he had. Um, I think with Wink there was this stubbornness that all right, I got my game plan, I got what I want to do, and I'm going to do that no matter what. And with Wink, a lot of times that game plan was a good game plan, but when you don't have all your horses in the stable, you got to make adjustments. And
And are
even when
you
you do have
referring
a lot of
to?
your horses in the
I don't
stable,
mean to interrupt you, but are
oh,
you
you're
referring
good.
to the injuries that the Ravens
Mhm.
had? Okay, then.
Right. So the Ravens, they of course had a lot of injuries. They had a lot of injuries before the season even started. They had a lot of injuries literally throughout the entire season. And when like the Ravens with Wink specifically, Marlon Humphrey, this was not a good season from him. He struggled a lot this season, more than he normally does. And I think a big, huge part of that was the fact that Marcus Peters wasn't on the other side. But Marlon Humphrey, there will be times where he will be struggling. Wink would have him on an island. He will be struggling. So we're all thinking, okay, he's been struggling early in this game. He's been on an island. All right, Wink's about to give him some help, give him some safety help over the top. All right, cool. Nope, he wouldn't do it. He will continue to put him on an island. Anthony Averett, who was our other corner, when he was struggling, it would be the same thing. He would have guys that were struggling, but he would continue to leave them on islands. And I'm all about, hey, put that confidence in your players and show that you trust your players. But at the same time, if you're trying to show you trust your players and they not being trustworthy, you got to give them help. You have to give them help because you keep setting yourself up for failure and setting the team up for failure. If these players that they're playing and they just not doing a good job, but you still keep putting them in positions where they're not being successful.
Mhm.
So that happened with Marlon Humphrey a lot. It happened with Anthony Averett. It happened with our backup corners like Chris Westry. He would just leave guys on islands, and the roster, the secondary was depleted big time. But he would still continue to do that. And Wink is very, very blitz heavy. He's very, very blitz heavy, extremely aggressive when it comes to blitzing. Now, toward the second half of the season, he did finally dial it back a little bit. But if he got all his guys, he is going to send it. And that's been a problem with the Ravens since he's been the defensive coordinator. Now, with the Giants, who are your edge guys? Because I know you got Leonard Williams
So
up in the middle, but who are your
so
edge
yeah,
guys?
Leonard Williams is in the middle. We have Aziz off the edge, the rookie.
Oh,
He
Azeez Ojulari, right?
yeah, he
From
just had
Georgia?
Yeah, he just had 8 sacks as a rookie, so we're hoping 8 sacks is a pretty good rookie season. We're hoping he develops
Okay.
more.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side is another rookie. Well, they'll both be second-year players now. Quincy Roche from the Steelers, actually. He was drafted by the Steelers. Steelers cut him. We got him. I think he had 4 sacks, or it was either 3.5 or 4. But what I'm hoping is that we take one of these guys upcoming this draft, because so obviously you said you haven't looked at it yet, but the top 2 edge rushers are like the Golden Boys. Every year there's that Nick Bosa in the draft, or there's that Chase Young or something. Those are the top 2 guys.
Right?
Aiden Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau. Hutchinson is the guy that has everything. Kayvon is the guy with the high ceiling, very raw. And then there's a little bit of a gap, and then there's the other guys. I don't think we're getting those 2, but if we could get one of those other guys, like, for example, George Karlaftis and, Ojabo, who played with Hutchinson at Michigan,
Michigan, right?
I think that we'd be in a good spot, but the edge is 100% a need right now. Because edge rusher, in my opinion, is a 2-man job. So even though I have faith and I believe in Aziz, he's going to need somebody on the other side of him to put in work.
Yeah, that's a good point because Wink is gonna he's gonna send pressure like crazy. But the thing with the Ravens, they hadn't had a good pass rush really since like maybe 2014, where we really had like a consistent pass rush. But the thing with Wink that was tough for him is that he never really had a good interior pass rusher because our interior defensive lineman was Brandon Williams. He's a first and second down defensive lineman. They take him off the field on passing down, but he's a run stuffer. That
Mhm.
was his main job, to be a run stuffer. Now 2 years ago we did get Calais Campbell as well, and Calais Campbell, he's been a good player, but he's not the interior pass rusher. He's not a disruptive interior
He's
pass
also
rusher
getting
like
up there in age.
right, exactly. So Wink didn't have interior pressure, was just he could never get it. So he would bring guys from the outside, and there would be a lot of times when the quarterbacks they will face pressure and they just step up in the pocket, they make a guy miss and then get rid of the ball. So there were a lot of almost sacks. But another thing too with his schemes, and it's weird because it's a lot of stuff that we may say you may think, oh
So
man,
so
why
wait,
is it
real
all
quick,
this
let me
bad?
ask you
All this,
something then, because I've always
yeah.
had this thought since like even back in 2020 when he interviewed for our head coaching position 2 years ago.
Mhm.
I've always had this thought. I'm like, people say that his defense needs great corners and great secondary players, which is true because he's worked with great corners and great secondary players. But I've heard people basically say he generates the pass rush through that secondary almost as if he's neglecting the edge. And part of me is like, is he neglecting the edge or is it just that he doesn't have those edge rushers? I don't know if what I'm saying sounds confusing,
No,
but
no,
do
no.
you get what I'm asking?
Well, yeah, Wink's defense, it can be confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times with the edge guys, he'll have them drop back in the coverage sometimes. There are a lot of and Unique Ngakoue, he pointed this out. And when he was speaking about after he left from the Ravens, he spoke about the defense and the fact that it makes it so hard for edge guys to really get into a rhythm when you have to do so many different things, when you have to drop back, when you just have so much responsibility. And that was one of the problems with Wink's defense. It was so complex that guys would just sometimes they just wouldn't be playing with confidence. Now, when you say you heard that if you have great corners or a great secondary, that he needs a great secondary for the scheme to be good, for it to be right. That's true because the pass rush was just tough. So those secondary guys, they have to cover for a longer period of time. So
So
they're gonna be out there.
let me pose a hypothetical, right?
Okay, yeah.
If you have just an average pass rush, where were the Ravens pass rush ranked? Would you say they were above average or average?
I would say
Excluding the coverage sacks, right? We're just talking about the front seven.
probably below average.
So if he has like an average pass rush, is he relying on that secondary to cover that much, or do you think he changes up the way he attacks a little bit? Because that is what I'm concerned about, right? I'm concerned stepping in right now. We have a below average secondary, so I'm not really gonna focus below average pass rush. So I'm not really focused too much on this first year because I expect this roster to be a turnover. We're once again in rebuild mode. That's just where the team is. But I'm looking at like that third year, once we get a couple more players in here, if the pass rush improves, is he gonna like continue to put those guys back? And like you said, sometimes they're not gonna get in rhythm because they're dropping back. That's what I'm worried about.
That's what we had been worried about as Ravens fans too. Because there's a lot of times when we were just hoping that he would just simplify stuff. Don't make stuff overcomplicated. But that's what he tended to do a lot of the times. And having guys do so many different things and be responsible for so many different things. And a lot of times guys just they weren't playing with confidence and you could see it because they a lot of times they didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we saw a lot from Wink's defenses right before the ball is snapped, we will see them having conversations with each other, like telling guys where to get lined up and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You just see a lot of communication issues with the defensive backs, with the secondary. So that's something to think about. Hopefully you guys hopefully you got a good amount of veterans on you know who calls the play, like who has a green dot on defense for y'all?
Blake Martinez. But he tore his ACL last season, so I'm hoping he comes back. this
Who?
season. Blake Martinez.
Oh, Blake. Okay. Oh, the
Yeah.
linebacker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he used to play for the Packers, I think, right?
He was with the Packers, came to us, had a pretty good first year, then tore the ACL, unfortunately,
Mm.
this past year.
That's the worst part about football is them injuries, man.
And it's crazy. I mean, sometimes I think we got some terrible luck because the dude was never injured in his entire career, and he comes to
Oh, he
us, he
wasn't?
gets injured. Yeah. So while he was out, we had Tay Crowder, who was Mr. Irrelevant pick of 2020 draft, calling our plays. Now Tay Crowder, he doesn't play like a Mr. Irrelevant, but he's certainly not like a starter linebacker, in my opinion, either. Like, and that just brings me back to draft talk, which is like we got even though our defense under Patrick Graham was still an above average one, we have a lot of holes to fill in. Like, we need to find somebody to either potentially replace Blake, because we don't know what a athlete is going to look like after they come off that ACL, or to be a legitimate linebacker next to him. Then we need somebody to play across from Aziz as well. And because our new general manager wants to make some cap space, we probably going to have to find a new number one cornerback, because James Bradbury is making a lot of money, and he's going to be one of like the first people they look at to cut or trade. So it's like all of a sudden we have what is, in my opinion, a proven defensive coordinator that has a good amount of concerns on it. And with what's going to happen to this roster, my concerns are only increasing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you. But Wink, one thing about him that should help a lot is that the players they love Wink. They love playing. You never hear anybody talk bad about like his personality, him as a person, him as a coach. You never hear anybody talk bad about him. As far as his methods, like I mentioned earlier, Yannick Ngakoue, he complained about that, but him as an actual person, Wink, no complaints. So the players they're gonna go out there and play for him. Wink brings a vibe. He brings this swagger. He brings this confidence. There's some stubbornness with it too, like I said earlier. But he brings this confidence to the defense. It's like when you work somewhere and you work under one manager that really doesn't care about you too much. He's like whatever about you, like, so that makes you whatever about the job. But with Wink, like, you can tell that he cares. You can tell when he
and
speaks.
he was with the Ravens as the linebackers coach before he got promoted, right? So he was in that organization, in that culture for, I guess, a good amount of time.
Yeah, he'd been around for a while. So he was a big part, of what Ravens do. So he got a lot of experience. He's come up, and hopefully, I mean, you never know whether it's with the Giants in the long run, hopefully not the short run for y'all's sake, or with another team in the short run. Hopefully he can become a head coach, and he can take on all the responsibilities of a head coach and really get his shine on and get his opportunity. That'd be cool, man.
I mean, I expected him fully to be one back in 2020. Let me ask you about Odafe Owe, right? The rookie linebacker that you guys had out of Penn State, if I remember correctly. Tell me a little bit about this man, because he looks like somebody that might not just be like alone an edge rusher. Like, he looks like he do multiple things on the field when I look at a couple of his highlights and whatnot.
Well,
and then, of course,
Wink did have him.
I was about to say, let me know.
Things.
Do you think that's a little bit of Wink's coaching, or maybe even like going deeper? Maybe it was something from your linebackers coach or something like that.
Well, with Odafe Owe, he was very, very raw. He was very raw. He had only played football for like 4 or 5 years before Ravens drafted him. So it's not like he's been playing football forever. And something that stood out about him was that this dude was like, he's fast. He is like crazy fast. I remember Justin Houston. He talked about where his son played with Odafe Owe in Madden, and he said it's like playing with like a creative character or something because of his build. This dude was tall and he was crazy fast. And I remember when we first drafted him, I watched some film on him or whatever, and I'm like, oh man, he got a fast 40 time, but every fast 40 doesn't show up on the football field. So I would look at games and I'm like, oh, okay, that his 40 does show up on the football field. He like
game
really
speed is what I call it.
Yeah. And I remember in the preseason, I'm glad they didn't continue this in the regular season, but in the preseason, they even had him lined up as a gunner. And I was like, oh, wow, they got him as a gunner. And he looked good doing it, but I'm glad that they took him off.
Don't want to risk injury, yeah.
Yes. So, well, yeah, with Odafe Owe, we just, again, it's the consistency thing, man, because you will see him as a pass rusher, then you will see him drop back, and it's like with Wink, our pass rushers never fully develop. So I'm even more excited for Odafe away now than I was last year.
Ooh, I don't
Because
know how that makes me feel.
I
Oh
know
no.
it sounds really
Yeah.
bad, man, because you see Matt Judon. Matt Judon, he went off this season. He made a lot of noise, got a bunch of sacks. But with the Ravens, it wouldn't be like that consistently. And because again, he was asked to do a lot of different stuff. So he didn't even get all the opportunity to be a pure pass rusher like that. With Zadarius Smith, excuse me, with Zadarius Smith, he was with the Ravens. He never really got to eat like that either. He went over to the Packers, went over there and killed it. And then you see Yannick Ngakoue too, even though it wasn't the best fit. But he was on the Ravens last year and just couldn't eat like that. Then goes over to the Raiders, and he was leading the league in pressures at one point. I think he finished top in pressures, something like that. I know he's definitely like top 3, top 5 in pressures this year. But it's something that had been like pretty concerning that our edge guys, they would go elsewhere and they would do better. Like they would do a lot better. And it's like, man, like why can't they just they do that here? So just that's something that would concern me as a Giants fan. But that's why I said it's what's different. The biggest difference is we didn't have a Leonard Williams.
That you were saying, yeah, that guy up the middle to kind of push the pocket a little bit.
Exactly, because that makes such a big difference. Because with quarterbacks, if they get pressure from their right, if they get pressure from their left, they could just step up in the pocket. But if they get pressure up front, that can mess up everything. Bad. So the fact that y'all have that, your defense is in a good spot, especially for Wink to be the defensive coordinator. So it's like he doesn't have to worry about that with y'all. So now it's about the edge guys and really letting them feast. And hopefully your cornerbacks, hopefully your secondary, they are some pretty good tacklers because he will blitz them as well. The top corner, the second corner, the safety, they will all be blitzing at some point, like a lot.
You definitely instill a bit more confidence back in me with Wink. Like, by all means, I definitely think he's a great hire. It's just that I am worried, I think, about the development of our edge rushers because, like I said, it's a big need. But you brought up the point of Leonard Williams and even a guy that plays right next to him in Dexter Lawrence. I think he's not the pass rusher that Leonard Williams is on the inside, but he could push the pocket very well. But it just hammers back a point that I was saying for a while now. A lot of Giants fans don't realize that we need to build back up our defensive line. Our last general manager, Dave Gettleman, was kind of mocked around the NFL for being a guy that loved to draft defensive tackles. And as much as he drafted and signed defensive tackles, he signed Williams. He also destroyed our defensive tackle room because all we got right now is Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence. We went from having a very deep one. BJ Hill, for example, we just traded to the Bengals. Hill went to the Bengals, had a great season, and they were in the Super Bowl. Right? Dalvin Tomlinson was a great lineman for us. He went to the Vikings. I haven't really kept up with Tomlinson that much, but the Hill example should be enough, right? So it's like we need to kind of build back up that defensive line room. And this is what I will say. I hope that obviously everybody hopes that when a coach goes to a new place, they just learn from their past mistakes. So I hope more than anything that happens. And so that he's like, all right, I don't have the secondary I had in the Ravens, especially once again, I do think Bradbury is going to be gone because we need the cap space. With our number one corner gone, basically, I hope he's like, all right, I can't rely on these guys to cover that much anymore. So let me try and use the young guys up front. At least, I guess that's my nugget that I'm going to throw out there that hopefully he does. But we shall see, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah, and but before I get out of here, I had a question for you because I've heard about the whole James Bradbury thing, but I also heard about it on the offensive side with Mr. Barkley. What's up with that? Are those just rumors, or could there be some?
So with James Bradbury, is definitely looking like he might be gone, and this is why. So Joe Schoen, I think it was either last week or a couple weeks ago, he said that he's going to be looking to clear up about $40 million in cap space for the Giants. There's two reasons for that. Well, he was the assistant GM in Buffalo under Brandon Beane. When Brandon Beane got to Buffalo in 2017, he cleared up about $55 million. So I guess it's just something that they do in the rebuilding process. They just clear up cap, even if it means making moves that in the short term is going to hurt the team. Because his reasoning is that in the long term, it's going to be healthier. We could probably get more players down the line. Just kind of clear out the cap space a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. And then another reason for it is because, I don't know if you know the Giants cap situation, we actually have probably the worst cap situation in the NFL. I think we're like negative $10 million in cap space right now, or something like that.
Saints got you.
Oh yeah. Oh, I keep forgetting about the Saints. They're always like negative 70 million or something crazy like that. But yeah, but we have a bad cap situation right now, right? So there's two reasons. And when you go down the list of guys that are our biggest cap hits, the number one cap hit I'm pretty sure is Leonard Williams. And we can't afford to get rid of him for all the reasons me and you just talked about.
Right.
It would be pretty stupid to get rid of Leonard Williams. The next guy is James Bradbury. And you said, okay, well, if you get rid of Bradbury, you have the number one corner. But our cornerback room is kind of deep. We have a Dory Jackson who low-key had a better season than Bradbury this year. I'm not saying that he's a better corner because I do think Bradbury is the better corner. But I'm just saying that to say that Adoree can play. Like, Adoree can play without a doubt. And so I think he'll be serviceable as that, like, 1B corner that's temporarily serving that 1A spot, if that makes sense, for the year. And behind him, we got a guy in Aaron Robinson and Darnay Holmes. And I think maybe with that cleared up cap space, we could try and get a guy in Levi Wallace from Buffalo, using that Joe Schoen to Buffalo connection because Levi Wallace is a free agent, just to basically get some guys in there that would last for a little bit. You go down the list once again of the cap hits, right? After James Bradbury, it's a guy in Kenny Galladay that we just signed. And Kenny Galladay was injured, so I don't think we're going to cut him a year after we sign him. If we do, that would be a very Dave Gettleman-esque move, like when we traded Odell right after we signed him. And then after Galladay, it's I'm not sure who. I don't know if Blake Martinez is next or if it's somebody else. But like when you just look back at it, and it's like Bradbury is kind of the odd man out for a couple of reasons. He's probably also the best candidate out there. If we want to trade somebody, we could legitimately get somebody back or get something back, like a pick back. I don't think we're going to necessarily get a pick back for Leonard Williams because I think defensive tackles are just underrated across the league. I don't really see teams trading picks for them like the Giants did with Williams back in 2018. I think we traded a third-round pick for him. But I do see teams trading maybe a pick or two for a number one cornerback. And maybe in another secondary, he is like a number two cornerback. But I do think James Bradbury is a really good player that could get us something like that. So it's very, very strong chance that he's not going to be here. And I didn't get a chance to read into this, but I did see, I go through a bunch of beat reporters' posts and whatnot, came across a couple that said they believe that the Giants and Bradbury might be parting ways this offseason. Now on to Saquon. It's a lot more murky of a situation. I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what's going to happen with Saquon. Before we hired a new GM and head coach, I thought he was gone. We still had him on the fifth-year contract. I was like, the best time to trade him if the Giants want to get rid of him is any time at all, like right now, because in my opinion, the longer we wait, I think the more his value goes down. But the more and more, this staff has just been around, the more and more I'm convinced they're going to keep two people on the offense. That's Daniel Jones and Saquon, for better or for worse, at least for one more year. For both of them, they have 1 year left on their contract. So I'm like, all right, maybe they're just going to see what happens for that year and just see how it goes out.
Jones,
he was drafted in 19, so this is his last year on the rookie deal.
Too?
Yeah, so I don't think
19,
that.
Yeah. That's the year after Lamar.
I don't think that we're giving him.
Saquon was 18,
option.
Right?
Saquon was 18.
Sure he was 18.
Yeah, he's on his fifth-year option right now. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is a fifth-year option year. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
So after this
Daniel
year, he's
Jones,
a free agent.
They would have to. If they were to pick up his fifth-year option,
it would be like right now.
To be by May 10th.
Yeah. So basically, it will be right now.
Yeah.
I think the smart thing to do, in my opinion, is to not do that. Let him play the year, because I've been saying it does two things, right? It kills two birds with one stone. If he's not the guy, you have that bridge quarterback to go into a stronger draft class next year. If he is the guy somehow, then great, he is the guy. Just sign him in the next offseason. I think you kill two birds with one stone, honestly.
Yeah. That I think that would be smart, just to let him just play it out.
Yeah.
Because he's been he's been a little up and down, man.
He's been up and down for sure.
Hopefully this year, I would love to see to where, and it's tough because salary cap, and you got 31 other teams trying to do the same thing. But if he's given a good offensive line, that obviously helps him out. Barkley, if he can be healthy, because he was hurt last year, then he came back, then he got hurt again, right?
Yeah, so he tore. People forget, and when I say people, I mean Giants fans, because sometimes I feel like they're a little too hard on Barkley. But he tore not only his ACL, I think so there was another tendon in his knee. He tore like 2 or 3 things in the same knee in 2020. So it wasn't just one injury. And we all know the ACL is like a year plus injury, so he wasn't even fully healthy. And in the middle of healing during the season, I think he went down again with with a low ankle sprain it was. So it was like he came back, went down with another one, and it's just like, listen, it's a problem that he's not available, yes, but at the same time, it's like he hasn't truly been healthy since his rookie year, which is kind of sad.
Yeah. Well, and one last thing. What's up with Evan Ingram?
He can go. I don't want that man on my team. Nah, he could go, bro. Listen, are you interested? You should not be interested in Evan Ingram.
Oh no. I was just curious because I remember I know a lot of Giants fans been ready to.
Oh, I've been ready to get that man out of here since like last year, man.
Definitely one of them too, man.
Oh man, listen, and no disrespect to Evan Ingram, bro. Right. I think he's one of those players that legit just needs a change of scenery because you see the flashes. You do see the flashes there, and it's a mental thing at this point, especially with the catches that you see he dropped, and that's his main problem, dropping catches. He drops the easy catches and makes all the acrobatic ones that should be difficult to make. So I'm like, it's a mental thing, bro. There's no way that you could do one but not the other. Like, you could do the harder one but not the easy one. So I'm like, maybe he goes to somewhere else. Maybe he needs a fresh start and he balls out. Who knows?
Is he your guy's number 1 tight end?
Yes, he is.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you consider him better than Kyle Rudolph, then he is, yeah.
Oh, I forgot y'all signed Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah, because he didn't do that much. But to be fair, we didn't use him that much either. And this goes for Kyle Rudolph, everyone on the offense. That's why Kenny Galladay had 0 touchdowns, and even Daniel Jones. We had a terrible offensive scheme this past year, man. Kyle Rudolph was supposed to be a red zone threat. We probably targeted him like 2 times the entire year in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? Kenny Galladay, we didn't use this man down the field at all. We didn't really give him that many contested catches. And yeah, he was in and out, but the offensive scheme was trash, which is a lot of reasons that we're kind of excited that we got a guy in like Brian Dable here now, who knows how to use offensive players, is what I'll say.
Hey, yeah, so hopefully he'll max out.
Because Kadarius Toney as well, I have a lot of faith in him. He showed out in the Cowboys game. That man burnt Trayvon Diggs. Not that that's an accomplishment, but he was putting the Cowboys on notice. He put the Saints secondary on notice as well the next game. So he has a lot of potential, man.
Yeah. Is Sterling Shepard, is he getting ready to be a free agent?
Yeah. Sterling Shepard is one of my cap cuts. Actually, I put out a video today talking about how we could get to that $40 million. I love Sterling Shepard as a Giants fan. He's a homegrown talent, but he got to go. Just too many injuries. Not worth the money at this point. And a lot of it has to do, once again, with he's probably the most injury-prone player on the team.
I don't know why. It just seems like he's been with the Giants forever.
Yeah, he has. 2016, I think.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That is a long time.
He's our longest tenured player, without a doubt.
Oh, well, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
he's one of, 2 Jerry Reese picks that are still here? Him and Ingram, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because Dalvin Thompson, it's just him and Ingram. They're the only 2 Jerry Reese guys still here.
Hey, they're hanging on, man. Hanging on for dear life. But if y'all need some cap room, then yeah. And if they ain't been playing the best too, then this NFL is cutthroat, man. It's cutthroat. And they will get rid of you.
Yeah.
Especially if they need some bread. But,
exactly. And with we saved $8 million if we cut Shepard like post June 1st, which is a good amount of money. So I think he's definitely going.
So he got like a couple of years left on his deal, like 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think he has because I think it was a 3-year extension or something like that. So yeah, he has like 1 or 2 either way. The post June 1st
if they do it post June 1st, then they'll be able to split the cap up in half between the dead money. I mean, between this year and next year,
basically. Because the pre June 1st one is literally half. It's like $4 million. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Then post is smarter. You spread it out for a little bit longer, but you get more money up front. So it's all good.
And then with Ingram, I mean, he's just a free agent, so we let him walk. It is what it is.
Oh.
Because he was drafted in 17. And so last year was his 5th-year option.
Ingram will be interesting. I know you said that he got the drop issues.
But I also did say if he goes to a new environment, I really do think he could thrive. I think it's all mental. I do.
I would like him with the Ravens because he wouldn't have to be the number 1 guy.
Oh yeah, with
And
Mark Andrews there, you know how much pressure that
behind
takes off
Mark
of him.
Andrews, behind Mark Andrews, the tight ends, they don't even really get used that much anyway. So, but
Ingram, you think about the mental pressure that's off of him going from a team on the Giants where he was kind of sometimes the number one
having to
option
be the guy.
because we had injuries on the wide receiving core. I think a lot of that plays into him dropping stuff. So
And that fan base too, man. You playing in New
oh yeah,
York, you
yeah.
know they're gonna bring it.
Mm-hmm. And I will
So
say, like I said, we're hard on the players sometimes. Hey man, but with Evan Ingram, sometimes it's warranted. I can't lie, but not all the time. Definitely not all the time. But sometimes I'm just like, especially that Eagles game is probably his most famous drop at this point. Like it was right in your hands, man. It hit you in the
was that
palms
a
and it
game
just
winner?
go through. It was a game winner that he dropped, yeah.
Hmm.
So it
Yeah,
was just like
those
that.
hurt the worst, man.
Exactly. But
So,
Engraven, man,
I
I gotta
appreciate you
thank you,
bringing me
bro.
on, man.
No problem. Guys, you see the name right? Am I pointing to it right there? Engraven Vids. Type it in YouTube. Check him out. Sub him up. And I know I'm definitely going to be on his channel sometime in the future as well. And like he said, we
sure.
are
This
playing
season.
each other this season. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll be linking back up, man. And let me know when you start on your draft stuff because I definitely want to hear your thoughts on a couple of these players, man. But thank you for
Cool,
calling in,
man.
bro.
No problem. I appreciate you.
Have a good one.
You too.
And then next up, let me bring back on the co-host, Ash. Ash, my bad. I had you back there in a minute. Let me get your quick thoughts on anything
Oh, no,
before I
you
pop
good.
back on Mike, and then Bobby Woodruff will be right up next.
Nah, man. I was just listening. I was on my phone watching this. Watching.
I will
the
say, listen,
recap.
one of the best reasons I want to engrave it on was that not necessarily insider, but he's a Ravens fan that basically had Wink for 3 or 4 years.
About Wink.
That edge rusher thing brought up a really good point.
Yeah. I was. That's one of the things I was listening about. I was watching the Super Bowl halftime show again. But that thing was crazy. But I like because I watched some of his videos already. And his whole vibe, and I think I can use aesthetic.
That's what I was telling him, bro. The
really-
background, like the wall in the
Yeah.
back.
That's kind of one. Hold on, let me see if my camera. How's my camera looking? Oh shoot, actually, like that's kind
There
of
you
what I want to do. I'm not like I'm in like my my school apartment, so obviously I can't get it set how I want to, but that's why I got like the vinyls and stuff in the background and everything. This thing keeps moving. I'm gonna turn it off.
Yeah.
But
And while you do that,
just wanted
shout out
show-
to Hirsch, Tiger Gang, Namar, No Mess, Michael Jones, Hazelnut, Adam in here, NRZ, PRD, everybody that tuned in while
What's
we were
up,
talking
Adam?
and engraving. I'm sure you guys also enjoyed the whole Wink Martindale conversation because it got me worried at first, like about the edge rushers, especially the point about them not getting in rhythm, but he did get me back some confidence when he said Leonard Williams make a big difference. And I think that just reinstills how much Leonard Williams is going to be like meaning to this defense, how much he means to it.
Listen, man. After hearing that, I'm starting to think. I know last week or whenever it was, we had like everybody on Nate and KB and everything. I said the scenario that they could go both, and two defensive players with the top 10 picks. I think our need for offensive line is so great that even though they probably want to, they can't pass up on an offensive line with one of those picks. But I definitely think they're going to try to build this defense and make it dominant this year with Wink. And you know how I feel about Devin Lloyd, but if we get, as Colin Coward said, Kayvon, he thinks he's going to New York.
And I know the chat is saying that, so let's bring it up real quick to give some context. Colin Cowherd spoke with Kayvon Thibodeau last night. We all know, or if you didn't know, Kayvon Thibodeau has kind of slowly been dropping down draft boards. He was like the consensus #1 overall pick just a couple months ago. He was the consensus #1 edge until people started looking into the other prospects. Like Aiden Hutchinson, in my opinion, is better than Kayvon Thibodeau. And if there's any defensive player that goes #1, it would be Aiden Hutchinson out of Michigan. That's not saying Kayvon Thibodeau is bad. He's still the #2 edge rusher in this class without a doubt. He still has a really high ceiling, but he's been slipping, right?
Yep.
So Colin Cowherd talked with this man last night, and from Kayvon Thibodeau's own mouth, he says he believes that he's going to the Giants, which would be a great thing because we're going to have somebody with like the highest ceiling in the draft probably, right? But can we develop him? And that goes back to, I'm like, I don't know. I probably want somebody a bit more less developmental if we're hearing what we heard about Wink.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take that. And again, I'm not gonna say that I know more than a guy who's actually, a fan of the Ravens who does his research on the Ravens. I'm not gonna say that at all. But I'm gonna just take those things with a grain of salt, like I take everything. Because I saw some points about he never really had that edge, or that edge player in his tenure. So
He did have
we don't know.
Zadarius. That was. I mean, that's a pretty good edge right there, Zadarius.
And I think that bringing in Kayvon, I've always said it. I look at him. I don't think he's the prospect that Chase Young is, but I look at him in his position to succeed, the situation to succeed is similar to what Chase Young was. Like we all said back in the Chase Young Bowl days and 2020, we were saying
that's
Chase
definitely the Andrew
Young,
Thomas Bowl. Now I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yeah.
Come on, am I lying?
You're not. But I'm gonna say this though. I've said that Chase Young needed to go to. I think Washington was the best fit for him, right? Because if he would have ended up on the Giants, he would have been gotten double teamed. He most likely wouldn't have had the rookie season he had.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Kayvon Thibodeau, a place like Houston or Detroit, the Giants are more suited for him because you have Aziz and he's going to be on a defensive line.
Would he have Trey Flowers in Detroit though?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Trey Flowers.
He does have in my opinion, like a good enough edge opposite of him in Detroit. I think that's a good enough edge.
I forgot about Trey Flowers. But
Houston is another question.
So let's say Houston. Let's say Houston. If he goes to Houston, and he would be a good fit in the Jets too because that's their defensive line.
Yeah, because what's his name is gonna. They have a good defensive line, and what's his name is gonna be coming back. I'm forgetting him. Carl Lawson. He's gonna be coming back. So.
Oh yeah. But.
I still see him possibly going to those teams.
Yeah, I definitely see him going to the Jets if he falls. That's a team that scares me, to be honest.
But here's the thing, Ash, right? I don't mean to necessarily cut you off, but my mind is reeling with what Ingraven said, and I definitely, Bobby, I'm gonna pop you on, bro. Gonna have you on. Don't worry about it. Then I'm gonna pop Mike back on towards to end it off because nobody else is really calling in right now. Shout out to Nate, even though the link is in the chat for anybody to call in.
Call in.
What he said about the edges and whatnot, it almost makes me want to take a guy that doesn't drop back in coverage more because he's gonna kind of be forced to just leave that man out there to rush the passer. And I think you know where I'm going with this. Yeah. That's where you get George Karlaftis. George Karlaftis is a pure pass rusher. He could play stand-up. He could play 4-3 defensive end. And he could also be moved inside as well to play Leonard Williams' position. So you could do what the Rams do with Aaron Donald and sometimes move Leonard Williams out and put George Karlaftis in. I'm just saying, the dude brings a lot of versatility, and people need to go and look at his tape, honestly.
Could you say the same thing for Kayvon though, in terms of? And I know they're not the same position.
I don't listen. Kayvon.
No, I'm talking about Wink developing Kayvon like he
because of Kayvon's pure athleticism, bro. I think that he'll definitely be dropping back in coverage. Like George doesn't have that, right? Like that's what Wink has. I mean, that's what Thibodeau has over basically everybody in the draft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I'm not gonna lie. I know there's some things about the league like not being high on Kayvon, but if we learn something about this league and how like these players have been taken, like now more than ever, teams care about your athleticism as a player, your speed, your diversity with your playmaking abilities and stuff, and that really boosts their stock. I mean, we saw it multiple times, no matter what the position is. Like the Raiders took Henry Ruggs before CeeDee Lamb and Jerry Jeudy just because he was fast. Like now, and that's just an example.
You're bringing up facts, like because you have examples to bring it up. You're bringing up facts right now.
So, and when I'm recording my mock draft video later this week, and it'll be out by the end of the week. But I'm gonna bring this up in the video. But I'm gonna say it now. Don't be surprised if Aiden Hutchinson is the one that falls, like to the Giants.
Bro, if Aiden Hutchinson falls to the Giants,
don't be surprised.
Do you want? I will. No, I can't say that on YouTube.
Well, not even for. I don't think. Listen, I don't think even though there are 3 teams that have been known to be making dumb decisions divisions in front of the Giants with Detroit,
I will
the
bust.
Texans, and the Jets. Yo,
There's no
Yo,
way you
clip
heard that,
that.
bro. There's no
Bro,
way
I
you
heard
heard
it,
that. I
bro.
said that super quiet. Okay, there's no way the chat heard it. There's no way. And Nate, I
Okay.
see you. Nate is in here. But Nate, let me get Bobby Woodruff on first, then I'll get you on, bro, because Bob's been waiting for a minute. There's no way the chat heard that.
Let me finish this real quick.
Yeah.
I could see come combine, come
Hey,
pro
yo,
days.
what is NRZ saying? What? Do you see the chat,
That-
Ash?
Bro, that is wild. Nah, bro, nah. I'm glad somebody heard it. But listen, wait till that combine and wait till the pro day comes. And Kayvon, shows his speed and his athleticism. And at his pro day, you will see Bill Belichick or some defensive coach coaching him up, going through drills.
You know
Bro,
what that
his
reminds
stock
me
is
of
gonna go
when
through the
when
roof, bro.
Belichick did that with Bradley Chubb in 2018.
Exactly. Right. I'm not saying Aiden Hutchinson is. I have Aiden Hutchinson as my edge number one. I'm not saying that, but we're talking about hype, right? So
And potential.
I'm just
Potential and
saying,
ceiling has
don't-
ruled the NFL draft for a while now.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Detroit is the same franchise where they knew they were letting go of Matt Stafford a year after, and they decided to draft a corner over Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa. Like Houston's maybe Lovie Smith. I'm not gonna lie, Lovie Smith probably is gonna fall in love with, because he's a defensive guy. So he might either fall in love. He's gonna take a defensive guy at the pick number 3. Pick number 3. Either Kayvon, Aiden Hutchinson, or Kyle Hamilton, I think. And then 4, Joe Douglas. People who think he's taking a corner, or safety, forget about that. He values his players in the trenches. He's either taking an offensive tackle or an edge. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. What up,
Hey,
Bobby? How you doing, man?
Oh, can we have
Yo.
Nate on together with me?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Hey, Ash, how you doing?
What's going on, Bobby? How you doing?
Where you from, Ash? New York?
I'm from Delaware.
Oh,
Yeah,
Delaware. That's a nice
I
area.
can't believe you don't remember me. You don't remember me at all.
I don't remember you. Do I know him?
You ask me this. You ask me this every time, and you don't remember where I'm from. I'm kind of
Well,
hurt.
I'm like 53 years old. I forget a lot of stuff, you know.
53 ain't that
okay,
old. My
so
dad is
I-
older than that.
So you think the Giants should pick up Keith Hamilton from the Notre Dame?
Ash is a fan of him.
No.
I like him.
I would love it, but I would rather go. I would rather go 3 options in positions with
Yeah.
offensive line,
Well, we got 2
defense
picks in the
edge.
first round, though, right?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like one of those picks for me is going to be offensive line. The
Oh,
second
okay.
pick, I would rather go edge or linebacker.
Oh, okay, I got you. Nate, how you doing?
Yeah.
I'm doing great, Bobby. Good to see you.
What's that hat you're wearing?
This is high school baseball team.
Oh, you go. Oh, wait, you're from New York, right? Too?
Nah, I'm from Connecticut. Moved
Oh,
from
that's
New
cool.
York.
New York. Yeah. Well, it's nice seeing you, Nate. You're awesome.
Thanks,
I
Bobby.
think
Always
they
good to
should
see you.
Trade Barkley away, definitely.
I'm sorry?
I think they should trade Barkley.
If we could
Coach, I
get
think you
some,
answered
yeah,
that.
for sure. I mean, the question is there a team willing to trade for him right now? That's the
I
real
don't know.
question.
Yeah, there's going to be someone willing to trade for him. The question is how much.
Yeah.
Well,
So that's what I'm gonna
about
ask you, Bobby.
Seattle?
What's the lowest pick you would take for him?
What about Seattle?
What's the lowest pick you would take for Barkley?
Third.
Third?
Wow.
I think third is probably the highest we might get offered.
Yeah. I'm with Kush on that one.
Well, he gets hurt a lot. That's true.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like third might be the highest.
But
he
what
I'll
gets.
tell you what. I think this could be a case where the highest and the lowest Bobby would take might be pretty damn close to each other. Third sounds, from what I've heard, rather, third sounds decently like what the price tag might be if a team like the Bills were to come calling.
Oh, Bills. Yeah, okay. They're looking for. What about Seattle Seahawks, though?
Yeah, the Seahawks are a question mark, Bobby. It's hard to know what they're going to do this offseason.
So what about they're not resigning Wilson, are they?
Well, the rumors are that Wilson wants to trade, but no one's really sure what's going on there.
Well, we trade Barkley for Wilson then.
That's not happening.
No, Kush. That's an excellent plan, and we should absolutely do that.
Why not? What's wrong with that? They
Russell
need a running
Wilson.
back.
Russell Wilson is worth like 15 of Saquon Barkley's.
Well, they want to get rid of Wilson.
No, they don't want to get rid of Wilson. Wilson wants to leave.
Yeah, so let's do that. Trade Wilson to us, and we
Yeah,
give
but
him
like the Seahawks would want something good in return. I don't think that would be something
give
good
the
in return.
Barkley and Ingram then.
Well, we can't trade Ingram. He's off
That's
the
a
books.
perfect trade.
I
But
agree
we
with that.
can't
That's
do
perfect. That sounds great.
Oh, what about Barkley and Shepard?
Bobby,
Shepard,
let me ask you this: with us having to clear $40 million of cap this offseason, as Kush is making a video about, or
Yeah.
excuse me, has made a video about, with that being the number one goal this offseason, do you think it's a great idea to add $40 million new right on top of it?
Yeah, I don't think Joe Schoen would do that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Also, if I can just give you an idea, you're
Yeah.
probably looking at multiple firsts and a couple of good players for Russell Wilson.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
That's
so
probably
who
the price
we gotta
range.
get as a quarterback? We gotta get
Well, that is
That's
the question, isn't
That's the biggest question right now, man.
no stinks. We gotta get rid of him.
Hey, man, like I've been saying, just use him as the bridge, honestly, and then get somebody
He's
next
not
year.
no bridge. He stinks.
I think he's good enough to be a bridge at
Oh,
least.
crap. Oh,
it? Yeah, you're fine. That's fine. Don't
So,
worry about
Bobby,
it,
think about it this way: if he stinks as much as you say, isn't that just better to get a better pick for a quarterback next year?
okay. Well, there's no quarterback this year that's good.
I said next year,
Yeah, so we have to get a replacement for him.
next year.
No, this year to get so he can't quarterback this year.
Who do you have anybody in mind?
So what's the free agency look like?
Nobody
Free agency
that
is
good.
not much. It's
Yeah.
the trade market you're looking at.
Well, it's probably be better than Daniel Jones could be. Can you look that up?
Sure, I got you.
I didn't
Yeah.
realize this was turning into a Daniel Jones hate stream.
Well, I
I
can't
do
say
not
that.
hate Daniel Jones.
Look at what what's his name did. Burrow's in his second year went to the Super Bowl.
Bobby,
Joe Burrow was
also has
Joe Burrow
really
was
good
wait.
team.
Let me say this. Joe Burrow, at the college level, in his final year, was the best quarterback that had a record season college year, and then at the NFL level was the first overall pick. That's very different from Daniel Jones out of Duke.
Yeah, but we
Burrow
got him
is
first-
on a
we
different
got
level.
him first round, did we?
So here are your free agent quarterbacks this year, Bobby. You got Ryan Fitzpatrick, Andy Dalton, Cam Newton, Marcus
Yeah.
Mariota,
Yes,
Joe Flacco, Cam
Yeah,
Newton.
I love that reaction. That reaction was
Yo, his
beautiful.
face is yo.
Yes,
When he
Cam
said
Newton.
that, oh my gosh.
Cam Newton, let's get him.
Bobby,
Somebody has
let me propose
somebody
to
has
an
to put that.
alternative. I understand that you do not want Daniel Jones. That's fine.
Yeah.
Let me propose to you an alternate solution.
Yeah.
There is a man in this draft class by the name of Malik Willis, and he is an absolutely incredibly talented quarterback, but he is a big boomer bust. He needs a lot of coaching. But Brian Dable was the man who turned Josh Allen, a similar
Right,
prospect,
he
into
should.
Josh Allen, and Mike Kafka had a big hand in training Patrick Mahomes. How do you feel, Bobby, about taking Malik Willis in this draft?
Well, he sounds good. That's the only good quarterback I heard that's good. But I really wanted Cam Newton. He's good. Who
Cam
else
Newton
is
will
free
probably
agent?
be here for a year though.
Who else is free agent?
So going back to the list, was Cam Newton the last dude I said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after Cam, it was Marcus Mariota,
Nah.
Joe Flacco,
Nah.
Mitch Trubisky.
Oh, they were thinking about him coming to the Giants, I heard.
Mitch Trubisky is not better than Daniel Jones, man.
Yes, he
Bobby,
is. He's
Bobby,
a lot better than Daniel.
Bobby, they've been thinking about Mitch Trubisky as a backup.
Yeah, they've
That's
been thinking
what
about
they're
him as a
looking at him
backup
for.
to Daniel Jones, so I don't think he's better than Daniel Jones.
I'd rather have Daniel on the
Then after Mitch, you got Blaine Gabbert, Chad Henne,
What a name. Whoa, Chad Henne. Put some respect on Chad Henne's name. Kush.
Brandon Allen, the GOAT himself, Mike Glennon. And
Oh
it's
my
like
God.
it's just a bunch of backups after that.
What about Teddy Bridgewater?
He's still in the Broncos for
I'm
now.
pretty sure he's still with the Broncos, yeah.
I thought they got rid of him.
I didn't see anything about that.
Me either.
But but it goes back to the cap space thing, right, Bobby? After we cleared that 40 million, Teddy Bridgewater right now is like on a 20 million contract. So you're already giving up half the cap you just freed up to get him.
Good. It's true. But what about the guy from Notre Dame? I like the guy from Notre Dame. The safety.
Oh, Kyle Hamilton. I thought you meant a quarterback from Notre Dame. I was very confused there for a second.
No, safety.
Yeah.
Listen, I was one of the earlier people to suggest that as a possibility for the Giants, and I'll still defend this argument. Again, it's maybe not my first option for how to go, but the thing about Kyle Hamilton people don't understand is he's more than a safety. Kyle Hamilton can do so much for your defense.
Well,
in the hands of a guy like Wink Martindale, who's super aggressive, who could use him as a downhill blitzer or as a downhill run player. He could be really, really good for this defense.
And there's another Notre Dame person too we have on our team right now.
Julian Love.
Yeah, I like that guy. He's good.
I actually had us cutting Julian Love this offseason.
No, Kush, no.
He
You
saved
didn't
us.
say that.
He saves us $3 million.
Kush, you didn't say that. I know I didn't hear that.
I said
I know
it.
I didn't hear you say that.
Listen, if I still let me pull out my paper that I wrote for the video I made today, right?
I think you're
So,
on something.
I cut Caden Smith, I cut Darius Slayton, Julian Love, Riley Dixon, Devontae Booker, Kyle Rudolph, Sterling Shepard. All of those together is $22 million we save, and then Blake Martinez and James Bradbury, and that brings us up to 46.
Here's my thing. Kush, here's my thing. Some of those guys 100% understand. The problem I have with cutting young talent is unless they're making a decent amount of money, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Julian Love isn't really that. Like, he's making a few million, but he's also a legitimate contributor to the defense.
Oh, trust me, I like Julian Love. I do.
He's not a scrub.
Who would you replace him with, though, on that list? You take him off, and you're back to, like, 38 million or something like that.
It's not – so here's first of all.
And I will say this, right? I will say
yeah.
this, right? Real quick disclaimer. I said this in the video as well. I don't have the resources, nor am I don't know to cap that much to actually do restructures. So with a restructure, maybe we keep Love for sure. I didn't do that because I'm like, I don't know where in the world to go with that. So I'll put that out there. We could keep Love if, say, we restructure somebody's big contract.
The other thing is you have to understand when we're looking at this as fans, when we're looking at how these things are going to happen, how we're going to clear cap space, a lot of it, what we can do realistically and predict based on Spot Track and other websites like that, is basically limiting to cutting and re-signing.
Yeah.
What NFL teams do, most of where they make their money is in the margins. Looking at a guy like Joe Schoen, he's probably going to come in and work a lot of these contracts and do a lot of things in terms of the margins of the cap space. Also, you have to remember, we have so much dead cap. We have mountains of dead cap. So a lot of that is going to clear on its own next season. Yeah. So I think if you're looking at Joe Schoen, obviously he's going to do whatever the hell he wants. He's going to do whatever he thinks is right. But I think when you look at a lot of these guys, it's not as simple as going down the roster and saying cut, 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 cut.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming, Nate. You're a good call. Right.
Anything
Also, that football kid.
Also, someone in chat, Hazelnut22 says definitely sign Peppers. Now that's an interesting conversation to have. Kush, I would like your thoughts.
I like Peppers.
I like Peppers as well. I'm not sure if
Let
I
him
get
go.
him back. Yeah, I'd probably let him walk. I definitely think that listen, Xavier McKinney, in my opinion, could be used in either safety spots. If they want to put him down there to replace Jabril, that's great. If they want to keep him at free safety to replace Logan Ryan, that's also great. But I think Jabril Peppers definitely walks. Like, he's a good player, not somebody that I'd probably re-sign. I'd probably use that money to try and get somebody in the cornerback room because unless somebody expects a big restructure, I think we could all agree Bradbury's gone.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I think so too.
So we'd
Here's
probably
the thing.
use that and get just a nice corner to be in there as a good rotational piece.
Here's the thing. First of all, with Peppers, I agree. My first instinct is that as much as I like him, he'll probably be gone just for the money, just for the idea that this is a regime change. We're blowing stuff up. He's probably going to be a guy. He's in betweener on his age. He needs to get paid if we're going to bring him back. Probably not a great contract for us to sign, but I'll say I can see it happening. I don't think it's likely, but I can see it happening. I can see a world where Jabril Peppers, who's been injury prone, who has performed well, but maybe not as well as he needed to in big moments, I can see a world where he takes a team-friendly deal and ends up back on the Giants next year.
Yeah, I think
not
so, too.
super likely, but I can see it. Then the other thing is you brought up corners. A lot of Giants fans are starting to go heavy on corner. Personally, I
You
don't
talking about in
think,
what? In what?
in draft, free agency, anything.
Okay, and anything. Okay, then.
Yeah. I've seen a lot, like more and more Giants fans, as the offseason has started here and as time's gone on, have been saying that they wanted a corner. I get that James Bradbury moving on would leave a big hole for us, obviously. He was a big part of this roster building process for Dave Gettleman, which that's a whole other conversation. But obviously with him leaving, it leaves a bit of a gap. But at the same time, I think, number one, we have so many needs to address on this team that it's not like it's the one outstanding thing.
I agree with you completely.
Let me just finish this.
I'm not going to.
Hold on. This is a two-part point, so it's not going to make sense if I don't finish it. So it's not a huge, like, glaring need like the offensive line is, for an example. So I look at that and I say, okay, maybe you could use that high-end talent, but at the same time, I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at the offensive line. I'm looking at edge rusher. I'm looking at linebacker. And I'm saying the difference between corner and those positions is we may not have a for sure slam dunk CB1, but we don't have anything in those rooms. We have no starters at linebacker. We have no depth at linebacker. We have one good edge and nothing across from him. We have absolute garbage on the offensive line. So I look at that and I combine that with the fact that we have a lot of young talent on this team at corner. Not necessarily studs, not proven by any stretch, but guys like Aaron Robinson, guys like Rodarius Williams, who maybe aren't great yet, but have shown that they can be starting caliber players in the NFL in flashes. I think it makes more sense to give them a shot this year and let them try and prove themselves than go chasing a position that we have much bigger needs than.
I'll say this because I agree with Nate completely. Nate is just saying what I've been saying for a couple weeks now, essentially since we officially signed Wink. In my Wink video, I said that. In my video where we got Andre, I keep forgetting his last name, as our defensive line coach, I said that. In fact, in the mock draft video that you guys are going to see tomorrow at 8 p.m., we got like 60 people in here. I hope all of y'all are there for the premiere because there's going to be premiering at 8.
So you'll be there tomorrow at 8?
At 8 p.m. right here on the channel, right? It's going to be premiering, and then at 9:30 is Young Guns.
Mock draft video. I'm gonna come after you. There's no doubt.
Okay.
I said it in there, and I've said it everywhere.
Be scared.
But we have good talent in terms of just look at the depth chart, bro. Like, I'm gonna go back to what Nate said because of what I've been saying. You look at the depth chart at corner. I'm like, I'm comfortable with that for a year. Let's put that off for a year. I'm looking at the depth chart at line. I'm like, that's trash. I'm looking at the depth chart at edge rusher. Let's keep it a buck. Other than Aziz, that's trash.
It's garbage.
Like Quincy is Like, it's trash.
Yeah.
You look at the depth chart, even linebacker, which is why I'm like, I wouldn't be opposed to taking a guy like N'Kobe Dean. It's trash. Like, the corner depth is not trash, right? So that's what I'll say. And Bobby, before you go, Ash, because like 3 people just popped in. So Bobby, let me get your last thought, and then I'm gonna pop.
You know what it is? It's Bobby. Everyone wants to be able to talk to Bobby Kush. That's what it is.
Oh, come on. Who's on next?
So Mike is on next, and then we got
Hey,
AB
Mike
and then Sam.
I like Mike.
What'd you say?
You could put Mike on too and then leave me on.
I don't want to have 5 people on the stream though, Bobby. It gets really crowded then.
What do you mean you're crowded?
Because then I get small. Everybody gets really small.
Oh, you want to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
That is exactly what Kush wants. That is exactly
Okay,
what
but
he wants.
is it not Cush's channel?
Ash, I know.
Are we not on the hub right now?
Yeah, Hub is great.
No.
I love Bobby, man. Do you know how great it is to talk to Bobby whenever he pops on? It makes me smile every time.
It's fun. It's fun.
You go college, Ash?
Yes, I do.
You go Maryland, Delaware?
No, I go to North Carolina A&T.
All right. I like North Carolina, but I don't like Duke. I hate Duke.
Oh yeah.
Duke's a hateable
I'm
school. I'll
not
give you
in
that one.
I'm not in that section.
Oh, you're
I'm
not in that
section of North Carolina.
So he's fine then. He
That's
clears. He's fine.
All right. So what I mean says, I just want Daniel Jones out of there. Somehow.
You have a lot of people that agree with you there.
Yeah, you're not alone in that, Bobby. I'll tell you that right now.
What
There's a
about
lot of
that
people with you.
quarterback you would talk about, Nate? He sounds pretty good then.
Malik Willis, look him up, Bobby, out of Liberty University.
Oh, Liberty, that guy, tall guy, right?
Actually, he's not that tall, no.
No, I don't think he's
Well,
tall.
he played against Notre Dame. I saw him. The Liberty.
Did he?
Yeah, this year he played against Liberty. Yes.
I must have hallucinated that.
Yes, I saw the game.
Oh, this is like last year.
Oh, maybe it was last year. Yeah.
Okay. Did not see that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw that game.
But
Oh
yeah,
wait,
he's
no, this is. Hold on, you guys keep talking. I'm gonna look for this real quick.
Oh no, I was just gonna say he's the athletic quarterback out of Liberty. He's like, he's
Yeah.
not that tall. He's probably like 6'1", 6'2" at best.
Well, how tall is Daniel Jones?
Like 6'5", 6'4".
Ugh.
Daniel's a big quarterback. He's like 6'4", 6'5",
He
240.
stinks.
6'4".
Malik-
Daniel Jones towers over people.
Yeah, so
He's
Malik
large.
is
Yeah,
6'1",
but he can't
225.
hold on to the ball.
That is true.
Yeah, you know, Wake Martindale, he used to play on game shows too. He was the host of game shows.
What game show?
Way back in the days. Well, you're too young for those games. I'm 53. Remember that? I grew up on. Mike Nixon, how you doing? I miss you. Nice to see you. Hope to talk to you soon. I have to get off now. Hub doesn't want to get shrunk up.
Listen, I'm sure you could understand where I'm coming from,
Yo,
Bobby.
Ash,
How are the
don't-
cats?
don't
How are
do
the
it.
cats? How are the cats before you go?
You got one cat. Seahawk died. Remember?
Yeah. How is the
No.
one?
No,
It's just funny how he's coming at Hub. I just
Nyla.
love it.
You know
I love every
Nyla?
second of it.
Yeah.
you know what name that movie comes from?
No.
You, Nate, Nyla.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
My cat name is Nyla. What movie does that come from?
I feel like that's Lion King. I could be wrong.
Right, Nate is right.
Yeah, there we go.
But Nala is from Lion King, not Nyla.
Yeah, it was close enough.
It's Nyla.
It's Nala.
It's Nala.
Nyla. Yeah, that's my cat's name, Nyla.
Ah,
There you
okay
go.
then.
Yeah.
Oh, Kush is salty. Kush is
What?
just salty.
Hey, how's the weather down in New York? The hub tonight.
It was freezing. It was like 16 degrees today.
Did it
Ridiculous.
snow?
It snowed a couple times in the past 3 or 2 weeks.
How much you got on the ground?
At most, at one point it was like 36 inches. It was a lot.
36 inches. You got 3 feet.
Yeah,
Holy cow!
I know
gonna
it was
fact check
ridiculous.
that.
Well, you got a
Look it
big
up.
storm.
January. It was like in the middle of January, late January.
I'm fact checking this right
Mhm.
now.
Because
at this moment.
we don't have 36 inches on the ground out here.
Yeah.
You cannot have 3 feet of snow.
I wish I took pictures.
I believe.
I don't buy this.
I don't buy. Well, look at the
8.3 inches, you liar.
No, that's cap. Look it up, bro. The nor'easter that was
just
here
did.
couple of weeks ago.
Well, I believe in the hub.
Does January 30th sound right?
Yeah, probably.
That's
do
a
you-
couple of weeks ago, Kush.
Do you want me to post like a whatchamacallit in the chat?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, guys, what do you think? Before I leave, what do you think about baseball? They're stupid, right?
They're awful, and I do not like them.
I know neither. They're on lockout now. They're idiots.
By the way, I will say this. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Major League Baseball is the worst run professional sport in the
It
world
is.
by miles.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. I know, Kush, you don't follow baseball.
No,
Like
'cause
you've
it's
heard
boring.
about the lockout, right? Like
Nah.
on some outside level. Okay. Well, long story short, it's 2 grown sets of adults that are
Yeah.
being paid millions and millions of dollars to do what they do,
Yeah.
acting like children fighting over a candy bar.
Yeah,
It's
it's
awful.
ridiculous. Look at the
It's
olden
terrible.
days. They play for the love of the money, love of the game.
For the love of the money.
I meant love for the game, not the
Yeah,
love.
I knew what you meant there, Bobby.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah,
Oh
it's
crap!
unreal, these people.
Sorry, bro.
No, it's all good. But
Well-
yeah, Bobby, let me get you out here now
let Mike
and get
Nixon
Mike
have fun.
on.
I like Mike
Yeah.
Nixon. I listened to him in the chat.
But have a good one, Bobby. Thank you for calling.
Hey,
in.
I resigned to your thing.
Yes, thank you. And I hope you're
Well,
there
the
tomorrow.
only problem is because I lost my wallet, so I thought I got a new card, but I found it in the car back of my car seat.
Nice.
So I found it. Then
Clutch.
I had to get you on. I gotta get.
I appreciate that. Once again, hey, make sure you're here tomorrow at 8 o'clock. That's when the mock draft is
Are
going.
you gonna be live or?
It's a premiere. I'll be in
Oh,
the
so
chat
you're
with you
gonna be in
guys.
chat because
Yeah.
it's-
And then I'm
That's
live at 9:30 after that.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'll stay in, and then we're on. We could talk to you at 9:30.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, so I'll come. I'll be
Nice.
there.
All right, Bobby.
Okay,
Have a
we'll
good
see you
one, bro.
later. Bye, everybody.
Mike, bro. Since you were on before, let me. And we got AB and Sam after, man. I'm guessing you probably want to talk about the draft. Let's get your 2 thoughts on it, man.
All right. Now that I think about it, now I know why everybody is. I mean, Devin Lloyd is a fantastic linebacker, but personally, I think Nakobe Dean's better. But I can see why people want him because not only can he set the edge as an edge rusher, he can also cover,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which is key for ranking Martindale's system.
Absolutely. And I'll
Hey,
say
wait,
this.
wait, real quick. Let me hear Ash's thoughts on this because he was the one kind of going off on the linebackers a little bit earlier.
Everybody knows Devin Lloyd is my number one. That's
He's big on the
But
Devin Lloyd train.
listen, I've been high on the Christian Harris. Not gonna lie, I've been,
Yes. Get on the Christian
actually-
Harris train.
I'm banging that table if he's in there round 2 with that second round pick. If we go edge and offensive line, or even just offensive line.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I want that. I want him for number 2. I like Nakobe Dean. I feel like people are gonna mention his size as a certain kind of thing to hold against him.
Who
Mhm.
just walked in there, Ash?
You said what?
Who just walked in there, Ash?
You know who? The one who called
My
him last
dog.
time he was on.
Bro, what?
We'll keep going. He camera off for a second.
Say nah. But I really like Nakobe Dean. He was a monster.
Yeah.
In Georgia, and that bro, why are you crying? I hate when dogs cry. Like, what you gotta cry for? You get fed, you get taken out, and you crying. Like,
Anybody
I
in
know
chat?
exactly what you mean, but that came off so
I was about to
cold.
say, anybody in chat that hasn't seen Ash with his dog and know how he takes care of his dog probably
Yeah.
think this man is an animal abuser right now.
Also, anyone who does have a dog knows what he means.
What?
Yeah. Anyone that's had a dog knows what he means. But when Ash said that, any non-dog owner probably just went, "Oh my god."
No, because y'all don't know my dog. Y'all don't know my dog. He whines.
Oh
like
yeah,
a
mine does
baby
too. Mine
for
does too.
Nothing. He's
I
2
know.
years old, so I get it. I
Hey,
get
mine's
it.
too.
But dog years, you're 14, right? So I fed him. I took him out, and he's still crying. For what?
He just wants some love, Ash.
Yeah, come on, Ash. Love your dog.
Bro, when you pee on the floor and you overstep your boundaries, you don't get love from me. You get punished.
Wow.
When,
All right, yeah, no,
Ash,
we're stopping
I
that
dare
talk
say
right there.
you
Not
might get
punish-
more heat for
like,
this
act
than you
like
got
if
for
you're
the
being
other thing
grounded or
about
something.
dictators.
Bro, like if you put him
Now I get why he supports Hitler.
Yo,
Ash, you just got done in, bro.
We're not going
No,
there.
I'm
We're
not.
not. I'm stopping that. We're
I'm
not
not.
going
All
there.
right, yeah.
We're not
back
going
to the
there.
linebackers.
Okay,
Back to the linebackers.
Nakobe Dean.
I'm. You want to finish off?
Kobe Dean, I would love him. I think I did a mock draft. I feel like he would be perfect with the New England Patriots, but I see the Eagles taking him if he goes
Oh,
like he falls
stop
out.
it! Don't say that.
Listen, they got 2 back-to-back picks.
Don't
They
put
could-
that out into the universe, Ash.
Listen, man, the Eagles could take Nakobe Dean and David Ojabo.
I hate
with
you
those
so
2
much.
picks, and that
Bro,
would
if they
be
do
great.
that, dare I say they have a great draft just off of that.
That's awful. I can't believe you even said that, Ash. Honestly, like, fake
Dude,
Giants
I've
fan
seen
right
a
there.
mock draft where the
You are
Eagles.
very loud there, Mike.
I said I've seen a mock draft where the Eagles took Nakobe Dean and Devin Lloyd.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
like how
Yeah,
both
anyway,
of y'all
though.
said wow at the same
Yeah.
For
time.
me, I look at these 2 linebackers, and I think they're both excellent. They're both fantastically talented. I would put Dean above Lloyd just because I think he's more consistent. I think Devin Lloyd has had a little bit of hot and cold, not to the extent that it's worrying of him as a prospect, but I see Nakobe Dean, and he just shows up every play. So I'd take Dean over Lloyd. I understand totally putting Lloyd over Dean. It's a pick'em thing. It's 1A, 1B either
Yeah.
way.
Mhm.
But here's my thing about the linebackers. I will say this. I can't say that I want either of them, and it's not because they're not great players. It's because the linebacker depth in this class is so absolutely insane. And when you look at how good so many linebackers are in this class, I think we'd be much better served picking other positions with those first 2 first-rounders, which we would have to use to get one of those 2 guys. Because, oh my God, I haven't been scouting a very long time, but this is wildly, far and away the best linebacker class I've ever seen. There are so many studs in this class. It's unreal just how many incredible linebackers there are in this group. I had one in my mock draft yesterday, Brandon Smith out of Penn State. There's so many. There's Christian Harris. There's Chad Muma. There's Brandon Smith. There's Leo Chenal. There's more after that. There's so
Mike,
many
I'm gonna say
linebackers.
do not, because Mike is a member, so he already saw the mock draft.
Yeah,
Don't spoil it,
don't
right?
worry.
Spoilers,
But
Mike.
I'm
No
right
spoilers.
there. I'm right there with Nate for Ash and for the rest of the chat, bro. It would be great to have one of those top 2 linebackers, but if I'm talking about building a team efficiently, I could have a really good linebacker that has the potential to start, or not even potential, it's just a day 1 starter in like the 3rd round. And some people might call me crazy, but that's just the truth.
No, it's just a fact with this class.
Yeah.
Like
But,
it's the same thing with Edge too. Maybe not to this. No, it's the same thing with Edge actually.
You know what I say
there's
with as well, and
so much Edge.
and this is not necessarily because of depth, but because I've seen this position fall. Tight end is another one where I was looking at if I was gonna take these guys. I'm like, they're falling a little bit in the mid rounds, not the top guys, but those guys that are like 3 to like 9 on if you do like a top 10 tight end list in this class, they're there in like the 4th round, 5th round, which is crazy.
Look at a lot of good linebackers around the league. Outside of like Devin White, Darius Leonard was taken in the 2nd.
No, Darius Leonard's an outside linebacker.
Well, yeah, you know what I'm talking about though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
Darius Leonard is that playmaking linebacker for them.
sure,
You know?
sure. Yeah,
That's something that the Giants need, and they have been missing for literally more than a decade.
absolutely. And speaking
Probably
of that,
since LT.
yeah, and speaking of that, the thing we've been missing for so goddamn long since I've been watching the Giants is athleticism and playmaking in the middle. We haven't had that in as long as I've watched this team. Nothing against Blake Martinez. He does his job well. When the defensive line keeps him clean, he'll play cleanup duty. It's good. But my God, we haven't had an athletic linebacker like people are going to say Take Ryder. We haven't had a legitimately athletic linebacker in a long time. And I'll speak on this because I know I'm going to get lit up in chat. Take Ryder has good athleticism. He is not athletic. That is the way I'll describe that. Take Ryder cannot run with a lot of guys that a linebacker in Don Martindale's system would require him to. He doesn't have the best agility. I look at a guy like Brandon Smith, for an example, because he's one of the guys I put in my mock. That dude is so freakishly athletic. And Mike's a Penn State fan. He knows. Brandon Smith is an absolute demon in space, and my God, does he bring the power. Like, there's so many linebackers in this class that
I want to get the next person in because I noticed that AB popped out. I apologize about that, AB.
Sorry,
because
AB.
I don't want to let Sam pop out, maybe because it is, it's getting kind of late. I'm assuming maybe they have to get to bed or something, There's a lot of things. So let me just pop Sam in, Mike. And if AB pops back in, I'll pop him in right after Sam. And then otherwise, if you're still there, Mike, I'll pop you back in. But let me just do this because I don't want anybody to pop out and feel like they didn't get a chance to speak. But what's up, Sam? How you doing, man?
What's up? How you guys doing?
Yeah, I mean, you could
Doing pretty
continue
good,
the
doing
whole
pretty good.
conversation
Doing
we're having
good.
with the draft, or like, what are you thinking, man? Maybe take something from the chat.
With the draft, I know it just came out, and it doesn't really matter where he thinks he's gonna go. But what do you guys think about Kayvon Thibodeau saying he thinks he's gonna end up on the Giants?
I think it's probably smoke, but it's exciting smoke.
Yeah,
Like,
I would.
I
love
don't know why. I kind of have a feeling that's where he wants to go. Because I think the Jets have just as much of a need with us at edge. I have a feeling that he has his number one spot, and I think that's us. I think he's a bigger market guy. He's always been at how do I say it? He's like an alpha on the defense. Like he's been in the spotlight and I feel like New York would fit him perfectly. And I think that we missed out last year on Micah Parsons, which is really going to hurt us for the next decade while he's with the Cowboys.
Give or take.
We can't let if Kayvon Thibodeau's there, we can't let him go.
Oh no. If Kayvon Thibodeau or Aiden Hutchinson falls and we don't draft them, fire Joe Schoen at that moment. Or Joe Schoen, excuse me. Because, oh my God, those are... We cannot afford to pass on him. You're absolutely right. And I'll say this about Kayvon Thibodeau. If you're bringing up the point of maybe he wants to be a Giant, that's not a bad idea. You look at this Giants franchise, there is a history, a long, storied history of incredible, dominant pass rushers in the NFL. Like, it's not that far in distant past either. Like, this is recent history, this is old history. The Giants are probably one of, if not the best teams of edge rushers in history. If you compiled lists of every team's best edge rushers, the Giants are up there. So I can totally see where you're coming from there.
And let me say this, and I want to hear Ash's thoughts on it, as Ash just got emotional in the chat. I'm sorry for that, bro. Hug your dog real quick, bro. And I see AB pop back in. So AB, you're definitely up after Sam. If Thibodeau is there at 5 and we pass on him, that's worse than us passing on Josh Allen in 2019, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In the moment, absolutely. Because passing on Josh Allen in 2019 made sense.
Well, I mean, Ash, what are you doing if we pass on him at 5?
If we passed on him for a tackle, I wouldn't be mad.
I would.
But listen,
I would absolutely
if we passed
be
on
mad.
him for Linderbaum, I might do a rage video. I'm not gonna lie.
There's no one in this class besides Aiden Hutchinson I'd pass on Kayvon Thibodeau for.
Yeah, I mean
that's it.
Me personally, but I'm just say this: like, I'm not gonna be mad because I don't think Carolina takes him at 6. So
I think a team trades up if Carolina
at
doesn't
7.
take him.
Okay, I'll be mad. You said what? Sorry.
Sam is
what a bad
100% right. To move. I think Carolina anyways wants to move down no matter what. So if Kayvon Thibodeau's there at 6, then one team's gonna move up. And I feel like we can't do what we did with the Daniel Jones year. We tried to trade up with the Jags. We can't take that chance and hope they let us trade up with them. Because we tried to move back up to 7 with the Jaguars and they weren't having it.
And my God,
Matt Rule,
just in general, if you pass on Kayvon Thibodeau, you're not getting another shot at him. That's just a fact.
Yeah. I think Matt Rule is gonna. I think he wants to take a quarterback because I think he's gonna need a plea.
Yeah, that's fair.
Why
that's fair.
He needs an extra year. That's the only reason I think we could get him at 7 is if Matt Rule, and I really think it's likely that they take either Willis or Pickett. And there's like reports or rumors coming out that the Panthers really like Willis. And maybe Matt Rule just needs an excuse to have another year as head coach, because I think we all agree after this year if he fails he's out of there.
That doesn't work all the time though. Look, the Giants got rid of Pat Shurmur right after we drafted a quarterback, so that doesn't always extend them.
He's got a point there, but it is still Sam. I think what Ash is saying is it's a lifeline, and it's a lifeline that Matt Rule needs.
Like if Matt Rule goes because Pat Shurmur won 4 games that year, so that's why he got fired. But if Matt Rule gets a quarterback and wins about 6-7 games, they're not gonna fire him. They're gonna be he's gonna say, I'll say this. Look what I could do.
I think they're in Deshaun Watson still.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let me say this. If Matt Rule wasn't being paid an astronomical amount of money, he'd already be fired.
And let me say this as well, because AB just popped back in, so I want to get him on before I end the show. We basically got about 10 to 15 more minutes. So, Sam, let me get your last thought or question. I'm going to pop AB back on, man.
Who's your guys' biggest sleeper this year? No matter what round, who do you guys think that would be a superstar talent?
Good.
Oh, okay. That last bit at the end, superstar talent. That makes me think a little bit more. That's hard to say.
Jeremy Ruckert from Ohio State.
To be a superstar talent.
Answer.
To be a superstar talent.
Yeah, I didn't think they didn't use him at all at they didn't use him at all at Ohio State, and I think he's the type of tight end we need. He's almost like having a sixth offensive lineman.
So
Yeah, a
this is
little
what I'll
bit.
say, because me and Ash actually talked very, very briefly about Jeremy Ruckert. I asked him about it because he's an Ohio State fan. I was just trying to get a little bit of
you
inside
are?
information.
That's
So
nasty.
Ash knows, and this is not necessarily a spoiler, but I wanted to draft Jeremy Ruckert for the Giants. I did not end up doing that because he went from going somebody that was probably going to go in the 4th or 5th round to now being somebody that's probably going to go in the 2nd or 3rd, which is why I'm like, I'm not sure if he's a sleeper. I actually look at him as a riser compared to where he started off and where he is now. But I agree with you. I think he could be one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL, and he definitely has the potential to develop the receiving side of his game. What
Agreed.
about the rest
I
of you
like
guys?
Jeremy Ruckert.
I don't want to compare him to Kittle, but Kittle coming out was a blocking first tight end, and then they developed him. San Francisco
Spicy.
developed him in the receiving game.
I like the take. That's spicy.
I love Jeremy Ruckert. I mean, this dude, back at Ohio State, he really caught everything. To be honest,
Yeah.
like I feel like he
hands.
slept on as a receiving tight end. Like this dude made I know we don't even look at the one-handed catches anything special anymore, just because it's like normal for receivers to make one-handed
Boy,
catches
are we
now.
spoiled by that.
Yeah. But for him, like some of the one-handed catches he made as a tight end are like really amazing, and I really think he slept on. I want to double up on tight end in the draft. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
Damn.
maybe in like the 3rd. This is where Jerry Ruckert, wherever he goes, like maybe he's in the 5th. In the 3rd round, Trey McBride is there. I would love to take Trey McBride and like take Jeremy Ruckert in like the 5th.
I don't know if I could do that personally, but okay.
I just want to double up on a tight end because if Evan Ingram's leaving and Kyle Rudolph, I mean, I don't think they believe in Caden Smith like that. So we basically like.
Well, they believe enough to be a backup, you think?
Maybe. I don't know. But
fair enough, I guess.
So
even then, like Caden Smith is our only tight end.
So I was gonna say, let me get your answer to his question real quick, and then I'll get AB in here if any of you guys have an answer to give.
I do have an answer.
I forgot about his question. I'm not gonna lie. I forgot.
Well, you kind of answered it in a way.
Yeah,
but,
you did kind of.
I'm gonna say a name. I'm not entirely sure if you guys will have heard of this guy. His name is Isaiah Foskey, and he is a defensive player at Notre Dame. He is. I'm going to be careful with my wording here. He is an edge defender. He is not necessarily an edge rusher, but he is an absolutely sensational athlete who knows how to come off the edge. Specifically, I think he could be a really, really, really good blitzer in the NFL while not necessarily being an every down pass rusher. But the thing I love about him is he is smart in the run game. He knows how to attack blocks, and they can put him in the slot sometimes in coverage. He is a really, really, really good Swiss Army knife. And when I say this, the first thing I hear from people about that is, oh man, you're looking for another Isaiah Simmons? No, I am not. This is a guy that is not projected to go higher than like the 4th right now. But Isaiah Foskey could be sort of, and I say this as a pliable comparison. This could be changed a little bit. I see him as sort of that, oh God, how am I blanking on his name? The do-it-all guy for the Patriots. How am I blanking on his name right now?
So am I. Kyle Van Noy.
Thank you, Kyle Van Noy. I see him sort of in that same way as jack of all trades, master of none. And that's very, very useful for a defensive coordinator to move him around the formation. And no matter where he is, you don't know what he's doing. He could line up in just about any defensive technique, and the quarterback's still going to be looking at him like, what the hell is he doing there? So I think a guy like Wink Martindale, who likes to move players around, likes to find new angles to attack blitzes on, I think Isaiah Foskey makes a lot of sense there.
With that being said, Sam, thank you for calling in, man. I appreciate you. I think you were here last week as well, or was it the week before? So thank you for being a reoccurring caller, and I hope to see you in the future,
He's been here.
Have a good one, guys.
Have a good one. AB, what's up, man? Okay, so it says I can't add you because you need to connect your mic and cam to the stream. It says your devices are not connected, so just literally as soon as you get... Okay, bam. All right, there you are. What's up, bro?
Let's
Look
go.
at that profile picture.
That is a depressing profile
Yo,
picture.
what's up, man?
All right, so
Not as depressing as mine, though.
Who's that? Saquon?
Yeah. I have the most
Yeah.
depressing profile picture.
That's crazy.
I came on, I had this one question. Like,
Mhm.
so we see the Eagles have 3 firsts or something like that. Like,
Yep.
let's say they call for the 5th. Will you trade the 5th pick for, let's say Hutchinson is there. Are you trading the 5th pick for all those 3 firsts?
I'm
Or
gonna stop you right now.
no,
I wouldn't trade
no,
anything to
no.
the Eagles under any circumstances.
No.
I
He said
mean-
Hutchinson. I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro.
For
Nah.
all of their 3 first-round picks, though, you got
no.
you're
For
gonna swap
Hutchinson?
that and then
Absolutely not. I would trade
Bro,
all
that
3
means
of those
they get
first-round picks for
Hutchinson. Think about this, bro. Think
Bro,
about this.
hold on, bro. Hold on. Time out. Y'all slurping Hutchinson like this dude is the
Exactly.
next coming of Jesus Christ.
No. Hold on,
bro.
bro.
Bro, we're in the off season, bro. I get it. Hutchinson is a beast.
What
But
you need to
come
understand,
on,
it's
bro.
not even just
You're letting
about how
him
good
go
Hut-
to
hold
a
on,
team
Kush,
that we
Kush,
play
let-
twice a year.
Right. It's not just about how good he
That's
is.
what I'm
it's about
saying.
you sending him to the Eagles.
But look. I'm not saying I would do the trade at all. But let's think about this for a second. So you're gonna get they're gonna get the 5th pick. You're gonna have the 7th, the 15th, the 16th, and the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Those are 4 first-round picks.
Wouldn't do it.
You could,
what?
bro.
Wouldn't do it.
You could get a tackle. You could get Linderbaum. You could get Devin Lloyd. And
Let me
you could
challenge you.
get freaking Ojabo.
Let me challenge you. Who's the
come on,
tackle?
bro. What
Who's
if
the
a team
tackle?
is there at 7? What if Charles Cross is there?
You're
boy.
gonna take him at 7 because you said Lloyd, and you want to take Lloyd
No.
at 7.
No,
I know you say.
wait. Ash, pause. Because
No,
let's
I'm
actually
saying-
consider this realistically. If Hutchinson is there at 5, I don't think any of the 3 tackles are there then. They all have to have gone in the top 5.
Yeah,
What if
that's
a-
true.
What if a quarterback goes Kyle Hamilton, Kayvon,
Maybe.
and then Evan Neal?
That's a very unlikely scenario, but
Then
I mean,
another
I
tackle
guess.
would be off the board too, because that's only 3 picks.
No. Evan Neal at 1. Detroit takes Kayvon or a quarterback. Houston would take a quarterback or or Kyle Hamilton. Oh yeah, you're right. Because the Jets will have to take.
Why wouldn't
offensive
why
tackle.
wouldn't like come on now. If they're not
Yeah.
taking an
Let's
edge,
do
the
our
Jets
math
are
here, bro.
taking offensive tackle.
So now,
And if,
now
by
we're-
the way,
now we're-
And then
Carolina's
wait,
taking
Ash,
tackle too.
and then you pass on that 5th pick. Carolina's going to take the last tackle on the board.
they're-
if the best quarterback's already gone,
taking a
Carolina's
quarterback.
going tackle.
Carolina's already in love with Pickett. If Malik Willis goes top 5, they can still.
Oh,
take
you work for
Pickett.
Carolina, bro? I didn't know that.
This is a very specific
Bro.
situation you're getting into. Let me
Bro,
say this.
Matt
We're getting
literally
very specific
recruited
here.
Kenny Pickett,
Hold on.
bro.
But
It's
We're,
right
we're
in
getting
front of
very
your
specific
eyes.
here. My thing is,
Bro.
I have a general rule. I don't trade with division rivals. I don't do it.
No, I get that. But I'm saying though, to automatically just deny it. Let's not act like.
I mean,
Aiden
no.
Hutchinson,
I mean, you're
you
at,
don't
wait,
win
Ash,
trades
wait,
with
Nick. Because
division rivals.
let me speak here because I haven't really had a chance to speak that much. You're assuming I automatically denied it. You think? Of course, I thought about this because doing
No,
my
I'm saying
mock
based off
draft,
Your reactions.
bro, doing my mock draft, and I've said this in streams. I realized that we have 9 picks, but it's not nearly enough. I looked at the team like the Eagles, and I said, God damn, if they weren't the Eagles, I would have do a trade with them because they got 3
Yep.
first-round picks, man.
That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying,
But
though,
going back, it is a very, I guess specific is the word to use, but it is like one unlikely scenario where Hutchinson is there at 5 and there's still a tackle available at 7. Like that's what it comes down to, right? Because if Hutchinson goes to our enemy, you're gonna need to pick somebody else that could block him, basically.
Hey, I mean, we see Kenyon Green getting some hype, man.
Kenyon Green is an
I'm just
inside
saying,
lineman,
look at
bro.
these-
He's an inside
He's
lineman.
gonna play interior, Ash.
He's
you
an
know
inside
that.
lineman, Ash.
Okay, I'm saying you could double up. Like I said, get
With
a
who
tackle
at tackle?
7 in my first scenario, bro. You just hyped up Charles Cross.
He's
Now
not.
you're gonna
He
act
is
like,
not
oh,
making it
What,
to 15.
Ash? But what are we talking about? We're saying in a very,
at
very
7,
specific
at
scenario.
7,
Oh,
Yeah, at a
okay,
very-
okay, yeah, fine, fine. In this very, very specific, unlikely scenario, sure.
If Charles Claus
Okay,
is there at 7, then
so-
yeah, fine. I'll do it. But I don't know why in the
Okay,
world
so 7.
Carolina would pass at him at 6. I'm sorry.
They wouldn't.
because Matt Rule is in the last year of he needs another excuse to hold on to his job, bro. They're gonna take a quarterback.
This
They're
is
going to.
this is
Can
too
I
much
make a
of
bet with
stretch
you
for
on
me, man.
that? Can I make a bet with you on that?
Bro, it's either look for Matt Rule.
Wait,
it's
but real quick,
either
can I make a bet with you
guy-
on that?
I'll make a bet for $10 on it. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, bet a case
Alright,
of
let's
do.
do
It's
it.
the channel tradition. Bet a case of do.
Case of do. Nah,
That's
wicked.
Cush's tradition.
Yeah, I got you, bro. Case of do. Carolina,
Case of
if
Mountain
they
Dew?
if they don't take a quarterback at pick 6, you owe me a case of Mountain Dew, and vice versa.
Can we substitute it to a? I don't like Mountain Dew. Can we substitute it to a case of Coca-Cola?
Yo,
Coca-Cola is a man's
Sure.
drink.
I'll do it.
Coca-Cola is
I'll do it.
nasty.
Sure, I'll do it.
Okay, so let's be real. Look, Carolina, Matt Rule, you're sitting in there. Your job is on the line. You're saying, am I either going to die by Sam Darnold, the corpse of Cam Newton, PJ Walker, or am I going to buy me another year with a young quarterback?
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? If I'm Matt Rule, bro,
Counterpoint.
I'm
Hold on,
trading
hold on,
down if
Kush,
I'm Matt
Kush,
Rule.
Hold on. Counterpoint. Matt Rule, if his number one guy goes off the board, which is what we're saying in this scenario, number 2, he can probably get in the second round.
No.
Yes.
Malik Willis is not going in the second round.
If
Neither
Malik,
is-
you said Malik Willis goes.
No, I'm Malik.
That was the thing
Even
you
if
said
Kenny
in the
Pickett-
example.
Even if I'm saying Kenny Pickett is his number one guy. I said Malik Willis goes in the top 5. Either way, both of those quarterbacks aren't going in the second round.
He definitely.
Hell no.
Kenny Pickett
Listen,
could go in the second round.
once again, this comes back down to the very specific scenario, the perfect scenario, essentially, where we trade that 5th pick away and we still got to tackle at 7. Then yeah, I'll do it. But that's why I'm calling it the perfect scenario, because I don't really see it happening.
Oh no,
So I'll leave it at
I'm
that.
not trading Aiden Hutchinson on the board. It's just I feel like if that was the proposed trade, I can see you benefiting more and getting more playmakers.
Yeah, it's
know,
for me.
with those-
It's
with those picks.
yeah. Again, it's not that the trade is bad. The trade I would do as a policy. I don't trade with division rivals. You don't win.
Oh yeah.
And then
Look at Eagles Cowboys. They made a trade this past offseason. Neither of them won that trade. The Cowboys gave the Eagles Devontae Smith, and the Eagles gave the Cowboys Micah Parsons. Who won? Nobody. Because now they have to face those two guys twice a year.
Yeah.
You don't win that deal.
They were scared.
And AB, I will
Dallas would
say that
rather
was a
have-
great question. You got everybody talking up
was.
there, man. You got
Yeah, that
another
was a
one
really
for
good
us?
question. Yeah.
Yo,
I was like, you got another one for us or not?
yo, am I muted or like what?
No, we can hear you. We can
Bro,
hear you.
I'm
Oh,
talking to
I
you right
even know.
now.
Alright, so I'm doing that pick in a heartbeat. Like I could get N'Kobe Dean, Lindenbaum maybe, and who knows, the tackle could fall in the draft. We could get them too. But if I could fix 3 spots, basically, I'm doing that in a heartbeat. I don't care about no Hutchinson. Like he could bust for all we know. Like I'm not giving that up at all.
Listen,
could see
it's
that.
a difference of opinion. I'm not making that deal.
We
All
gotta
right.
stop acting like Hutchinson is the second coming of JJ Watt.
Did we not literally
not.
just talk about that wasn't the point, Ash, or did that go through your head? Like, what's happening here?
Bro, I'm saying in
Not
general.
much to go through
bro.
there, Kush.
I'm saying in general. Like people acting like Hutchinson is just just this.
I don't think
god.
so. I don't think so.
And maybe that's a little bit of Michigan hate for me.
Yeah, I think it is because I don't think people are acting that way. When
But-
you say that, like
No, I
people,
do.
people acted that way about Chase Young. People acted that way about Nick Bosa. Are you saying they're acting like that about Aiden
Bro,
Hutchinson?
because that's
Because there's still, I will say, there's still very much
Hold
a
on, hold on.
debate. Even though Kayvon's been slipping, there's still very much a strong Kayvon camp as the number one guy. Like, that still is a thing. Like, there's a lot of
Hutchinson
people there.
is not on Nick Bosa or Chase Young level.
The hype-
I
the
agree
hype
with
you're saying.
Chase Young, but like as a hype,
Oh,
do you,
the hype. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're talking
do you
about.
think they're being hyped up the same way? Because they're not.
Because
Like,
yeah,
you-
like
you're
if
saying
he
that people
was,
are acting
bro,
like hold on, Kush. You're saying that people are acting like Aiden Hutchinson is the second coming. No, people acted like Chase Young was the second coming. People are acting like Aiden Hutchinson is a really, really, really good player, which he is.
I'm just gonna continue to say that the Kayvon camp is still
Okay.
very, very strong. So that's why I
Yeah.
just kind of disagree with that. Like, there's still a very strong Kayvon camp.
Yo, we got 80
I
people in chat
see-
right now. That's pretty sick.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, but I'll say like let's say no Kobe. I mean no. Let's say Hutchinson becomes uh let's say he becomes like a good player like All Pro and stuff like that. But let's say Lindenbaum becomes an elite center and N'Kobe Dean becomes like a average guy, like decent, and that third guy becomes who knows like wide receiver, cornerback. They become like average too. I'm taking
Then
three.
you lost that trade.
I'm taking
Absolute-
three above average guys. Then you know.
Bro, hold on. You're telling me that an elite center and 2 above average players is better than an all pro edge rusher?
I mean, he's like, yeah, I'll take that. To be honest.
Real quick,
positions
shout out
filled.
to Tudo Azori for the $5 super
I
chat.
don't
He
know
says,
about that
"Salute
one.
a Kush. Drop by your office to pay our proper respects and all for Giants fans around the world. Slap the stinky bird losers out the door, and good luck on your upcoming games." I'm gonna say this to AB, and then let me go, and I'll get Ash's thoughts. When we start talking about hypotheticals about where players could go, I check out because
It's fair. That's
what
fair.
are we talking about, man? With how we're gonna project their careers? At that point, let's just do that for everybody, and let's just make a random draft. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's fair.
I'm saying like average, like how they could be, like.
But I'm just
hypothetical.
following this hypothetical, and I'll straight up disagree. If you're looking at the way you've defined it, 2 average to above average players and an elite center, that does not equate to an all pro edge rusher. That value doesn't
And
work
Ash,
out.
what do you say to that?
I'm gonna agree with Nate here. AB, you know, we like this. You know, we right there. But if you're talking about all pro edge, like you're talking about like he's getting around like 15 sacks.
At least,
I
at
didn't
least.
I didn't need that much.
Like when you
minimum.
look,
Bro,
think
at
about,
least
AB,
for
I
you,
want
like
you to think
all-pro.
about who all pro edge rushers are. Like think about what that means.
All right, let me rephrase that real quick.
No,
Let's
no,
say
no,
like
no,
a
no,
Josh
no, no. Here's the
Allen,
thing,
'cause that- I
AB.
knew-
Let me stop you right there, because
that
if you
was OD, that was
rephrase,
OD.
you automatically forfeit what you were offering. If you gotta
Right, yeah.
rephrase
No,
it.
I didn't mean like
Yeah.
a 5-time all pro. I meant like a couple. But like, let's say he becomes Josh Allen, the one that's on the Panthers or whatever.
Do you mean
It's
the
not worth
Jaguars?
those.
He
Yeah, the
becomes who?
Jaguars. It's not worth the 3 above average
That's
guys.
a wildly different thing.
Yeah,
you
that's what
just
I'm
said.
saying. Like, you just completely changed it from one end of the spectrum to the other, bro.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
And we got a bot in chat.
How do they keep coming back?
I don't know, because every time I click block, it's like they're already like I go to hide it and it says unhide.
I just
so
did, yeah.
It is what it is.
Nah, but
But very
got you,
interesting
though.
questions though,
I
AB.
do- I get what you're saying. I think he's trying to say like if Hutchinson was like
No, I know what
legit,
he's trying to
just
say.
like
I just think
good,
if
yeah.
you're saying all pro,
I
that's
think
too
you
much.
labeled it. I think you labeled the players
Yeah.
wrong.
I know what you're saying though. Yeah,
And like I said,
I
at
get
that
what you
point,
mean.
at that point, with any of those scenarios like that, we're all playing a guessing game. Like, oh, what are these guys going to
Yeah.
become?
And then also we're talking about this. I need to go back again, and I know what you were saying is fair logic. Like if the valuation worked out, like if the value of those 3 players equaled the value of that one player, you're taking the 3 players. That just makes sense. But
Yeah.
I'm saying again, it wasn't the trade that I have a problem with. The problem is that it's to the Eagles. Like I don't do trades to division rivals because think about it now. Think about how that changes. Because now it's not just that you're trading the 3 players that equal the 1 player. That 1 player you're now seeing twice a year.
That one
Like, that's
player
a
is an
problem.
all pro that's getting like 15 sacks. God knows how many on us.
On you, right? Like
Right, so
I can't do that.
as most people know, like Dan Jones is my guy. So like, I think he's going for 30+ touchdowns. Like, if you could say like how much touchdowns he's getting, like, what would you say? Like,
Wild segue there, but I think it's impossible to know at this point. I love Dable, but it's a question mark, man.
Yo, let me
I
get
think-
Ash's thoughts on that, man.
I mean, hell, he might not even be the quarterback. We don't know yet.
I think Daniel Jones is gonna have a similar season to his rookie year, probably even better. To be honest, I see him
Aggressive?
throwing around like 27, 28 touchdowns and like 12 picks. That's just me.
Yeah, what up, Miz?
I think Dable could work with him, but my question and what I want to ask everybody, even UAB, is like, what do you think? And I know I want you to take the kind of like the biasness out of this. What do you think Daniel Jones would have to do in order for us to keep him? like without doing like any bizarre, predictions, what do you guys think? He would like his stat line or he would have to do for the Giants to keep him.
Yeah, I'll start that off. Whenever I get this question, my reaction is always the same. I don't think there's a number. I don't think there's a number of touchdowns and interceptions and yards and all that makes it. I think it's going to be if you know, you know. I think it's going to be based on what we see from him. You're going to evaluate it as it goes along because so much impacts those numbers. Like, if you, let's say you set a limit, right? Like, Ash, give me a number for touchdowns.
30.
Okay, let's say you say 30 touchdowns and he gets to stick around. Now let's imagine that he misses 2 games with a minor injury, but aside from that, he's on pace. Then that number doesn't work. So I look at that and I say, I don't think it's a number. I think it's if Brian Dable says that Daniel Jones has taken the steps he wants to see, if he's become consistent in eliminating some of those mistakes, and he's become all the time the player from the Saints game and not so much the player from the Rams game, that's what you're looking for.
And a shout out to Mike. He tuned out. Thank you, man. I know it was getting late. Appreciate that. And,
always good to talk to you, Mike.
Adam in here, Miz in here. Adam had a question about I think it was the tight end out of Tampa, OJ Howard, right? I want to answer that real quick before it goes, and I completely forget about it.
What happened to him, man?
I mean, define cheap, Adam, is what I'll ask. If I'm giving this man come on, bro, like you gotta define cheap for me. I'm gonna be honest with you. Did you guys not block this man? That's crazy.
What?
Bro, what the heck?
Bro, he was. I swear, I just saw him blocked.
Yeah.
I just got him again.
Nice.
I swear you. Yeah, scroll up. Mike got him the last time.
This is crazy, bro. They put in a lot of effort. Yo,
Also,
whoever's
by the
behind
way,
that account, man, you need some love in your
keep
life,
making new ones.
right?
Yeah.
You need some
By
love
the
in
way,
your life.
Peep the
also,
username. I'm not sure it's not Kush. Peep the username, bro.
Wow.
I'm not sure it's not Kush.
I was just say what.
Anyway,
said,
as I was gonna say,
Channel rebrand anyone?
not only do you need the love in your life, but if you put as much effort that you put into these troll accounts, into like going to college or something, bro, or like getting a job, touching some grass, it would be really nice, bro.
Touching some grass.
But yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
but go ahead. I know you were saying something there, Ash.
Nah, Adam was saying, and I kind of agree. I was about to say it, like a 1-year deal, like 3-4 million.
Yeah.
Around that range.
I don't know if I'd pay him $4 million.
It's not like it's because I had my questions about him, because he was injured, and then when Gronk got there, he got down in the depth chart, and then he got even outplayed by the backup to Gronk.
Yeah,
and
Cameron
like
Brate,
the third tight end. So it's like what I want to understand or.
It's all different accounts because when I click block, it's always a new block thing. So it's all different accounts that he just has ready.
Bro, what a loser.
But this dude, I really wonder what happened to him. Because he was looking like the next great tight end. I mean, he was a monster in Alabama. Like absolute, like he looked like he was going to be the next generational tight end.
So
and,
with OJ Howard, I mean, if it's a really really cheap deal, then yeah, and it also depends what we do. Actually, no, I take that back. I was about to say it depends what we do in the draft, but free agency comes before the draft. So I guess I will just say it depends on a really, really cheap contract. Shout out to Tudo for another $5 super chat. He says it's 5:15 a.m. here in Italy. Our entire team is watching a live show, Kush and Nate, and we all love the discussion. Regular how to fix the team issues, and we love it. I appreciate it, man, and definitely check out Ash as well with the Get Back with Ash.
Tudo.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't help but notice one man was excluded from that.
Yeah, but
sorry, Ash is strong. He'll get through it.
Yeah, we are approaching 2:10 right here. I'll ask you guys to kind of close it up now because I am getting tired as well.
Oh yeah,
I know what you mean, Kush. I can read between the lines. I get it.
I'm still in my work clothes, bro. Like, like this man don't know that I came straight from work to here, bro.
Where you get that blazer from? I'm not gonna lie, that's looking kind of.
Yo, careful how you word this here, Ash.
I just like the blazer.
Is the blazer a good fit? Is that what you're saying?
Okay.
You won't believe where I got it from, bro. You will not believe where I got it from.
You probably got it
TJ
from
Maxx.
Go or something.
No, I got it from Old Navy.
Hey, all right.
Old Navy's not that bad.
Oh, Nate just left.
What?
That's nice.
Damn,
Okay.
Nate.
He heard Old Navy and he
Nah,
did.
but I guess I'll just close it out then, or I guess I'll plug myself.
We'll close out your thought. I got a couple comments I'll address, and then we'll close out the
okay.
stream.
All right. What were we? Oh yeah, the tight ends. It's crazy, like how that whole draft, like the first 3 tight ends taken in the first round of that draft are like free agents. They're gonna be free agents, and they're not gonna, there's not really a big market with Howard, Ingram, and David Njoku. Like all 3 of them are, didn't have good careers. But I would definitely look to sign a veteran. I would love OJ. I just like his build, and I want to figure out like why he failed in Tampa Bay, especially with Brady. That's really all I gotta say. But I wouldn't mind bringing OJ Howard on a cheap 1-year deal. I'm not gonna lie. I think I don't know. I think a lot of people aren't putting much thought into Evan Ingram coming back on like a cheap friendly deal. I feel like Brian Dable could do something with that. With Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
Use him the right way. But.
And I mean, I'll say this. Sure, Nate. I guess I'll pass you the link a little bit on Twitter. But like, I'm about to say my piece, and then get these comments, and we're gonna be up out of here. The first comment I want to address. Let me scroll back up. Charles Kenny, I think it was, or no, let me scroll up just to make sure there wasn't any other one, because we answered Adams. So yeah, I think it was Charles Kenny. He asked, or he said, coaches are paid to evaluate. And if we're hired the right coach, then we have to trust him deciding on DJ. The money will make the decision that DJ has to look impressive. I agree with that statement. It's, definitely going to be up to the coach. We got E-List Entertainment saying who we drafted. Great you asked that, because that name is hilarious.
Here comes the plug. Here comes the plug.
That name is hilarious. I'm glad you asked that, because tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Will be my mock draft premiering. So if you want to see that, it's a full 7-round mock draft. All 9 picks that the Giants have, 8 p.m. right here on the channel. I'm going to be in chat with you guys. I'm not sure if you're new to the channel or not. If you are, all I'm going to say is check out my mock drafts from last year. I put a lot of work into them, and they usually come out good. I think this one is even better graphically than last year. I went for a different style. Last year was a lot more like 3D and a little bit futuristic. This one is kind of more, I'd say, ESPN paper mache-ish, if that makes sense. But you'll see. I was experimenting
really doesn't,
a lot with
but
it.
I love the description there. That was top notch.
Like my new intro, for example, is kind of ESPN paper mache, to give you an idea, right?
I have no clue what you mean by paper mache, but I'm excited to find out.
Why would the troll be Big Play Slay? I thought Big Play Slay was a friend of the channel. If it is, then damn. That kid, bro?
You're really buying into that rumor mill, huh, there, Kush?
I'm just saying. That's why I said I don't know if it is. But yeah, with that being said, Nate, unless you got anything else to say, we're gonna close it out here, man.
Nah, I mean, I felt bad that I accidentally just straight up misclicked. That's on me, boys. My fault there.
Funny.
that was on me. That's my bad. Been a minute, but we're good.
Man. In that case, guys, make sure you check out Ash. Make sure you check out Nate. AB, thank you for calling in, man. You brought up a lot of great questions, and I love that profile pic. Have a good one, man. And with that being said, I'm actually going to play the promo, and we're going to close it out, guys. But good night. All right, let's get this done. Take this guy here, that guy there, fill in a couple positions, and wait a minute. I take him, but he goes. What happens then? No. Take that guy, take him. There's so many choices. Who do I take?